Ladies and gentlemen,
I had to get some
That's good.
extended family, Phoenician family goes deep,
That's right.
Phoenician
Can't
family
go
goes deep.
roll on guys. Yeah. I
Nah,
always wondered how you know all these pros, to be honest, bro. I always wondered,
I've
like, did you meet all of these guys? Like, you met me
at
in the
some
gym?
point, at some point, yeah. I mean, okay, let's say with Nick, I've been knowing Nick since because I'm from New York, so I've been knowing Nick since he was an amateur. I had him on a podcast when he was amateur actually. So and then who else we get? Carlos. Like I guess I know most of them online, but it feels
Yeah.
like I know them in person. You
How,
you got friends like that where you talk to somebody online so much that like you feel like you already know them, but until you meet them, like, oh wait, we never actually met. You know what I'm saying? That happens
yeah.
sometimes. So yeah, I would say most of them I know them from online. Some of them I've met at like shows and shit like that.
What's up,
So
Nate? What's up, Robin?
what's
Yo,
up,
hey, what's
what's
up,
up,
Zay,
gentlemen?
80, Robin? How you
Why,
doing?
How you
why,
guys doing?
Robin looks like he's 14 again. What happened to him?
Hold up. Let me put my glasses on so I can match you guys.
Oh
There
yeah,
you
we
go.
got glasses. We got the glasses spot today. What's up, gentlemen?
So,
Not much, man. How are you?
Pretty good, brother. Are you guys like blind like me, or you wear glasses just here and there?
These are new. I just started wearing these. I got for long distance, and
Okay.
my eyes get tired a little bit. I have a little bit of astigmatism,
Hmm.
so it's giving me a little bit of neck pain, but it's all good now.
Okay. How
Yeah.
about Nate?
yeah, I can see a little bit. Like on stage, I don't wear my glasses. I could probably see up into the judges. Other
Yeah.
than that, I'm blurry.
Anybody wears it in the gym?
Yeah, I always wear mine.
Really?
Shit. I
Well,
hear
Wait,
you,
Ron,
wait,
Ron,
wait.
sweat
Ron Ron used to
right
clown
there.
me. Ron's like, "Why you wearing your glasses training all the time?" I'm like, "Man,
Nasser
See,
somebody used to train with glasses. That was
you're
fucking
right.
badass.
You're right. He did. I've
Yeah.
seen people on stage with glasses, and I'm like, huh? Because I'm thinking, do you really have to? Do you really have to see people on stage?
nah, I'm
I,
not wearing
I,
that." Mm-mm.
I never really understood that, but I think maybe it's like a fashion statement. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah.
Tried
For
wearing them in
me,
the gym, bro. I don't like wearing them in the gym.
nah. I gotta be honest. I don't really like wearing them at all. But because the first time I got glasses, I was in third grade, and then I wore it for a couple of weeks, and I was just felt uncomfortable. I was a super active kid. I like to run around, jump around, and the glasses just didn't, suit that lifestyle. So I just never wore it regularly. I tried not wearing it at all, and then my vision kept getting worse because I'm just straining all the time, and I'll get headaches. Then I started wearing it all the time, and then my vision still kept getting worse. So they had to increase the prescription like every year, like my dad. Then I'm like, this is not gonna work. So now I do a balance. Like Rob said, when you start getting tired, your vision gets worse, right? Like late at night and shit.
Yeah.
So I'll wear it if I'm gonna be on the laptop or my phone for a long time, or if I'm driving late at night, something like that. So I just use it when I need it. And for me, it's usually close up. Um, my driving vision only gets blurred if I'm tired as fuck and I'm dieting for the most part.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
What
Speaking
about you,
of,
Zay? Zay, you need glasses for distance or for close?
For I can't see far, so I have to put some glasses on. I don't train with them now because I hate sweat around there, And
yeah,
fuck, dude, I hate wearing glasses, and I've always had like not such a good vision. And you mentioned stigmatism. I have that in such a high level. I don't think my vision is like bad by any means. It's just such a high level of stigmatism. So I
Hmm.
remember each optometrist I went to, he had like to talk to me about stigmatism and what that is and
what is
how
it?
I have it. It's like basically, let's say you see everything clearly, but instead of seeing everything centered, it's shifted to the left or shifted to the
Oh,
right. So you see just fine, but you don't see it in the middle. You see it shifted.
wow.
If that's me, it makes sense. I don't know if this is the way to describe it, but that's how he told it to me. You
That
know?
sounds wild.
Yeah.
Is that how you would describe it, Robin?
I believe it's how the eye filters light, and it doesn't filter completely through like a circle. It filters a little bit more oval, so it's just like the way that the
Perception.
prisms in your eye are shaped is a little bit different, and it could be different from left to right, which throws you
Okay.
off. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
have the same thing, and I had like special contacts that were weighted, kind of like position the lens a certain way. Um, but yeah, I don't know if I've seen two separate things, but like I just can't see, so I got astigmatism.
Yeah. Basically. All right.
Nate, do you wear contacts then, or no? You just wear your glasses?
Nah, because I wear them too long, and then I can't take them off my eyeballs. They get too dry, and it's just like I'm fighting with it, so I don't even deal with them anymore. Yeah.
Contacts. I can't do the
I
contacts.
never tried them at all. I hate to put my finger in my eye, dude.
Nah,
You know?
Yeah.
there's no way I could do contacts. Oh, would you guys get LASIX at some point?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different with astigmatism, I heard. That's why I was like hesitant to get it, but
Oh, like LASIK, it doesn't work the same if you have that.
that's what
I
I heard.
mean-
But I don't know anybody that got it done with astigmatism yet.
I had a client. She did it. She did have that surgery. She felt so much better afterwards. Her vision improved a lot. However, 3 years later, it kind of went backwards. So maybe it's not permanent.
That's
You
not
know?
good. That's
Yeah.
spend all that money, and go back being blind.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard this, but they say, don't quote me on this. They say colored eyes get damaged faster. So if you have colored eyes, you probably have bad vision faster in your life. You know, they get damaged.
We all got brown eyes. Aid, you got green eyes, or what do you got?
He got some
I
like
got
hazel.
green.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zay he got colored eyes. Good point.
Green eyes. Yeah.
Okay.
I always wish I had green eyes. When I was younger, I was like, oh man, I wish I had green eyes. It'd be so cool.
You know how like
I like husky eyes. Husky eyes are fucking freaky. You ever seen someone with super high husky eyes? Like you know how the huskies have super light blue color?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's literally like that. I've seen a few people with very light blue colored eyes.
You don't see that too often.
Yeah.
You know how like albino people have bad vision usually? A lot of them have like light eyes as well. I don't know if there's a correlation. But how's prep going? What show are you doing, Robin?
Toronto.
Okay. And how many weeks out now?
Today 3.5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry. Cal is in 1.5, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How you feeling, Rob?
I was thinking about doing Cali, but it's just a little bit too soon.
Yeah. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, bro. I'm feeling great.
There you go. What's up, Xavier? What's up, Will?
What's up?
What's up, my man?
What's going on, guys?
Yo.
Look at those cheeks on Will, man. Look at my young off-season cheeks, man. I haven't seen that in a minute. This is Will. He's a young up-and-coming bodybuilder. How old are you, Will?
20.
Oh, shit. Hey, younger than I thought.
Nice to meet you, Will.
He might
Nice
be
to meet you, bro.
He just did a
Yep.
show recently.
Oh yeah.
Like a year ago.
A year ago.
Okay. So this is, how long ago is this? 8 weeks ago.
Yeah.
See, it's funny
My
because you know when
double
when you're younger, like your face holds more weight, right? Because his body is leaner than his face.
Why is that?
I don't know. When I was 20, boy, my face was so swollen all the time, and I'm like, I fucking hated it, and I couldn't grow a beard when I was 20. So I'm like, oh fuck, what the fucking D-ball face off season. But then, like as you get older, your face just loses all that whatever that is. But we'll look good,
Baby
man.
fat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something too, man.
follow.
Like I shave my beard and I look so much younger, and my cheeks look just like plump. You know what I mean? Like if it's an off season, they just look plump.
Yeah, look at Robin. Robin looks like he looks younger than Will right now. Look at it.
See?
Yeah,
Hey Robin, Robin, I just got your text too, by the way, bro.
Yeah, just messaged you.
I don't even know what time that is my time, so I'll check, bro. But Robin just asked me to be on a podcast, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just about to be on one." So I was very surprised to see Robin on this one because I thought he meant, "Can I do his podcast around this time?" So I was like, "What?"
We just talked. He's like, if you need someone to fill in, I'm like, I had a couple guys like jump out. I'm like, all right, like, time to start out.
Yeah, it might be good for it, bro. It might be good.
Yeah. This time zone shit is starting to confuse me sometimes. I'm always sometimes I get off, but I'm like, okay, Australia, okay, Xavier, okay, Robin, okay, this time, and that shit is about. I just thought to say just 12 PST because when I try to do the calculations for you, that's when things start to go left.
I remember once waking up like 5 minutes to 5, and I thought we was doing it at 6 a.m. because this is like it's 5:15 here in the morning right now. And I woke up, I'm like, in an hour, and you're like, now, and I'm like, oh shit, and like, dude, as soon as you wake up, jumping on a podcast straight away, it's weird. I don't know, it's very different.
You know what was even funnier? Like when you like me, Xavier and Robin, like we do different podcasts, right? So you've been reaching out to somebody and they ignoring you, and you get on another podcast and they right there sitting down, and you're like, hey, what's up, bro? You know what I'm saying? Nice seeing you here, bro. Nice seeing you. They're like, oh yeah, what's up? Now I meant to get back to you. I'm like, oh no, it's okay. Don't worry about it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Catch them slipping. Catch them in the corner. All right, but let's check out. Let's see. Robin, you been posting any updates?
Nah, I've been posting them all on my subscriptions.
Oh, he's trying to get the OnlyFans money.
Trying to make that money.
Yeah,
there
trying
you
to get the
go.
bread. I see that.
Yeah.
Dude,
But let's
you're
see.
so shredded. I think
Yeah.
you're already like stage ready, brother. I don't know about Cali. You said it was too early. Maybe did you mean like time wise, or did you mean like you're not ready for it?
Right.
I think you're ready.
I could be
Condition-wise.
ready. It just I talked to Dorian. He said that it wouldn't be a good idea. He just wants me to focus on Toronto. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna listen to what he wants me to do at this point. You know.
Robin got high standards for his condition, you know.
Yeah.
Like could he step on stage and be in most people's condition right now? Yeah, but he's trying to be in that Robin condition.
Exactly.
Yeah,
just clients today.
let's take a look at Nate.
Hey Robin, did you do that celery juice for your ulcerative colitis?
Yeah, I do it every day.
Yeah, because I've heard that's a massive help.
Yeah, didn't Robin say that's the only thing that you felt like really helps it?
It's the only thing, man. Since I've been doing that every single day, I haven't had not a single flare up, knock on wood. So I'm just going to keep doing it and hope we can just cruise right through this time.
There you go.
Yeah.
This was yesterday, Nate?
That was Monday.
Okay. Nate looking bubbly, bro. Look at the triceps.
You put on some
Hard too.
quality size, man. Seriously.
Carbs right there too. No carbs.
Yeah.
Some white fish.
You know what's funny? When Nate shaved that white beard, he's gonna look like he's 25. He's gonna shave. He's gonna shave about like 12 years off of him when he shaved the beard.
Yeah, I just get so tired doing prep, and I'm like, I barely can maintain this stuff. I just like.
I got no time. I don't even want to drive to the barbershop. I'm just I don't care. I'm like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Just wear baggy ass clothes and be unkept. All right, good shit.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Man, I like that routine of like once a week at the barber. It's like it just keeps you normal, man. You start missing that, and then you start to feel like you're not clean. You're not
all over the place. No, for sure. Yeah. The
I know
only
my
time
ages, man. I feel like a wreck.
The only time I slack on that is contest prep. That's when I don't care about anything.
Yeah.
It was a
February.
or 40 pounds.
I'm eating, guys. I'm eating. I'm pushing it. What else do I fucking do? Tell me. Oh my gosh.
We don't stop. We don't
pounds,
stop,
bro.
Zay.
Yeah.
No, good work, Zay. Good work.
It looks good, no? Not too bad.
Yeah,
No, it does.
That's a good size.
Good.
Oh, yeah. Good shit, Zay. Let's see. This is a comparison? Oh, no.
That's a throwback, yeah. The shredded
That
days.
hammy drop's nice, man.
Yeah, this is
I've
the
been-
only update you'll see. By the way, I didn't have any updates up, so all of those are just throwbacks.
like in the moment in the competition season, sometimes you don't appreciate something as much as till after, and then after the show, you're like, "Holy shit, that was a crazy look they bought at the USA's."
Yeah,
Yeah.
and honestly, dude, I always feel I competed all my like amateur career without being full. I always was flat while I competed, so I
Yeah.
never really had a. I don't really have like a set of pictures where I'm fully blasted of carb loaded, without weight,
Yeah.
having to stress the weight or make weight,
Yeah, the closest was their finals. Their finals for the USA's. He was pretty, but like I mean, when you have to make that weight, you're never gonna be as full as you could have been. You're gonna be as full as you can coming from that weight drop, I guess.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly.
You just got the weigh in until the show. It's like half a day. And I feel like you can't even really load off of that. Like it's just
No.
Yeah, but the morning after finals, I dropped like 6 pounds, 7 pounds in one night. Like from
Yeah.
Sunday to Monday.
wow, that's weird.
I've never actually had to make weight because I'm 5'11", and my first show I was like 23. So by that time I was already my first couple shows I was heavy, but I wasn't trying to make weight. That was just the way I looked, the way I should look at, and then.
I just sent you some pics, some update pics. Want to take a look?
There you go. Where you put it up?
I just sent it to you on Instagram.
Let's see what's going on.
One of the 3 people that I've sent it to.
It said unsupported. Oh, you gotta use the mobile version. Oh, good. Next time, Robert. Next episode.
Wasn't meant to be that.
Hold on, let me back it. All right, you guys. What did you guys think about the Pittsburgh Pro guest posing? First of all, do you think it matters how you look at the Pittsburgh Pro? Do you think people should try to purposely look good, or do you think you should just show up, handle your business, and go home? There you guys.
Man,
It depends on what you have going on. If you're in the off season, maybe you shouldn't interrupt the off season to do a cut for that special guest posing, but as I also think as a professional, you cannot show up in such a bad shape. You know what I'm saying? Like that one year when Sean Roden did that, of course he won the Olympia that year. He's such a genetic freak, but I wouldn't suggest anyone do that, right? Have to be a little bit leaner than that, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to prepare just for a guest posing. What do you guys think? Do you have to just prepare for that? I feel like if you have a decent off season, you should be just cruising in.
Samson doesn't prepare.
Yeah.
No, he
The
doesn't.
last 2 years, he hasn't.
So was Remy. I didn't mean it that way.
He didn't show up.
Yeah, I meant it like he whenever he does it, he just shows up. Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't prepare his phaser.
Yeah.
If you're in the NBA, and you show up for a guest appearance, do they expect you to be able to knock down 12 three-pointers in a row in the off season, or do they not care because you just got to bring it for the season, right? How come anytime a bodybuilder even goes on a talk show, they're like, okay, let's see, take your shirt off, right? You're an athlete, right? But if you're an athlete, I feel your goal should be the best on stage because you're athlete, you're paid to win, right? You don't actually get paid to be a professional in basketball. I mean, not basketball, in bodybuilding. You actually have to pay to be a pro. So think about it. So it's like in the NBA, you can say, well, we're paying you this salary, show up, right? In this, you're not being paid to be a pro. So why should you go out of your way to potentially risk your health and stay on gear and do these cuts just to look good for a guest appearance. You know what I'm saying? It's person to person. Me personally, I don't want to step up there and not look decent, but I don't think it's fair that people put so much pressure on these guys these days with social media that they feel like they have to look like Mr. Olympia in the off season. Whereas back in the days, that wasn't the case, man. I know 90s guys will tell you different. Like, we were always shredded at guest posing, but they weren't. The pictures are up there. We've seen those.
I know Jay Cutler was saying like he would always do guest posings like 1 or 2 weeks out and just look horrible, then drop 20 pounds,
a bunch of pounds,
win the Olympia. But again, it's a different time. Like, everybody, they weigh so heavily on this Pittsburgh guest posing, and if you know you're going to be doing the guest posing, I think you know if you're doing your job, regardless. Obviously, if you're in contest prep, then you're going to be looking good, especially if you're 1-2 weeks out or whatever. But you're not peaking for that. Obviously, you wouldn't waste a peak that. And if you're in the off season, I feel like if you're doing your job and you're actually, you know, staying clean, and even if you're on or you're off, you should look respectable. I mean, Samson was completely off, and he still looked fucking just as good as everybody else. You can tell like maybe he's not as hard, but you know that's to be expected because you're in the off season. But if you just show up like bag of water, just mashed potatoes, like, you know, people are going to talk about that, and I think it's going to ruin your momentum to a certain degree, right? Because like people expect you to look good against the other guys who are also bringing their best for that guest posing. So I think it's important to show up always looking good. Like you said, if you're an athlete and you get on a guest spot, say take your shirt off, you should be ready to go. Let's, you know,
there's like a limit. I just feel like the limit keeps getting pushed higher, right? Because the expectation now is guys have never looked this good ever at guest posings, not even close. We've never seen guys look like this at guest posings like regularly. We ain't never seen a motherfucker 300 pounds like Hunter Labrada with lines in his ass and full set of abs, or Derek pulling a vacuum. You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen this, but now we're getting numb to it because it's been like this for like the last 3-4 years. So now we see it and we're like, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Whereas back in the day, I mean, Dorian could show up with no abs whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? And nobody had a problem. And they shouldn't have a problem because he's huge and he's 300 pounds, and that's how he looks off season, right? You know, or Kai would actually look better than Phil and Dexter, but still, I mean, he was really like, you know, his stomach was out, he's holding a lot of water, things like that. So I feel like we're so hard on the guys today. Like, we got guys competing at 260, 270, pulling a full vacuum with a full set of abs, you know what I'm saying, and a tiny waist, and we still just want more. His glutes ain't hard enough. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're so hard on these guys these days. It's kind of wild, you know. I think they get no leeway. You look at the comments, like Derek Lunsford posted a video, oh, he's too blocky for me. I'm like, blocky? Like, he literally has like the best front double and front relax. I don't know, but I just feel like guys don't get a fair shake these days, man.
I think Nick got it the worst, man, you know, because everybody just shit all over him. But the only thing I was disappointed in is that I didn't see any piggybacking happening. I wanted to see some Derek Sampson piggyback going on.
I feel like guys are too smart these days, so they won't risk the injury, you know? Like,
exactly.
Like Moshe Ban ain't doing it. He ain't putting no one on his back.
Yeah.
See, like with Nick, I'm like, people understand he's also like a bigger guy. He's 5'7", he was like 270 there, right? You know, so bigger guys and certain body types are gonna hold a certain amount of water. And I've lost up to 20 pounds the last 10 days before a show. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things that it's hard for people to understand because everybody's body don't work that way. Whereas Stu can be hard and shredded from Stu was hard and shredded from 6 weeks out. He never had no water rebound. But that's Stu's body. That's not Nick's body. That's not my body. You know, but the last episode, I didn't want to sound too biased in Nick's favor because he's my friend. So I just said what I saw, but I don't think it's going to make any difference on stage. But I was just saying what I saw, he wasn't controlling his midsection, which he wasn't, you know, as much as he should. But it didn't mean anything to me. I didn't see that and be like, oh, Nick is in trouble. He's going to lose. It's like, no, I didn't think that because it's never actually been a problem on stage. So it's not all of a sudden going to be a problem on stage now, you know. But I just want to report what I'm looking at right here. without sounding biased. Like anytime my friends come on, I'm gonna just be like, "You look perfect." Next, I don't want to be that guy
Yeah.
because a lot of people can be biased toward their friends. I want to just say what I'm looking at. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Will.
I think with Nick, like he just had our expectations so high. We were expecting a certain look from him, and we kind of like didn't get it. So, I mean,
I know what
it
you
was
mean.
kind of him that kind of worked us up for it, because
I know
he's
what you mean.
coming. 1 week out, we expecting something crazy, like, and it wasn't that
I gotta
crazy.
agree.
Like, it was just like
Yeah.
So okay,
Not to
let's say
mention the
this.
fact that this is all of the best guys all on the stage at the same
Good
time
point.
at
Good
different
point.
parts of their season. So it's hard to really compare, And I'm sure, like, I know if it was me and I was Nick, I'd be putting a lot of pressure on myself too, and I'd probably be a little bit nervous, man. I just gotta take that into account too. It's like a little bit of nerves, but now that he knows what he needs to do, I think you mentioned that last time, Beatty, on the last podcast. He's gonna bring it from New York because he knows what he needs to work on now because he knows what people are gonna be looking for. So it was actually a good thing.
Yeah, it could be
100%,
good,
yeah.
or it could go the other way. You might push on the gas too much.
You mean try to not try to like undershoot with the carb up and try to maybe come in too hard, right?
Yeah, up the cardio and all this crazy stuff. Cut some food. Don't tell your coach. You got to go with Matt's plan. Matt has a plan for him, so I mean, the plan hasn't changed. I don't think with him.
That's a good point. I'm definitely doing that. He made that mistake before.
Yeah, maybe.
Actually, have you guys? I don't know if you heard it. It was on the same channel, I think, as the Menace podcast. They actually had Steve Weinberger and Nick Walker on together yesterday. Okay, yeah, it's got like 2,000 views. So I was like, okay, not many people have seen that. So I'm probably going to make a video on it as well. But Nick was on there and he sort of spoke a bit as well. And he said that after the Pittsburgh guest posing, he obviously saw what was said online. He reached out to Steve and asked for Steve's advice. He's like, what did you think, sort of thing? And Steve said to like, step it up a little bit, like step it up or push things a bit more or something like that. And Nick said since then he'd lost 7 pounds. So when I heard that, I was like, yes, Nick needs to drop something, but I'm like, if he drops too hard, too quick, like you said, Nathan, I might, with the Arnold last year when he came second.
Get Simpson.
When he was prepping for that, I was going, because he said this is the hardest I've ever pushed down. He said I'm doing more cardio than normal and all this sort of stuff. I'm like, Nick normally comes in pretty hard. I'm like, can he go too far? And while he didn't go too far, it's not like he was like, he didn't walk on stage and people were like, oh, this isn't it. It was just that it's close, between these sort of top 3 guys. And he's probably just slightly too flat. And had he not been slightly too flat, he would have won that Arnold and we wouldn't have been talking about Nick missing it, which he didn't really miss it. He was shredded as hell. He was just a little bit flat on what we'd seen in the past. So,
what's weird? Me personally, I actually like that look, but the judges are telling you that that's not the look they want from you. So, it would be in your best interest not to bring that look, right? As long as he follows Matt's plan, he's gonna be his best ever. The only thing is if he overthinks it, or like somebody said, if he starts to maybe do a little bit more than Matt has him, that would be the potential danger. When I spoke to Nick the day after, and honestly, he seemed unbothered. I thought he was going to be a little more irritated, but I don't think I think when he's this close to the show, I think I know that he tries to tune out social media a bit because, bro, if you look, it's nonstop, bro. And it's not just Nick. Nick probably gets it maybe the second hardest. I think it's like Hunter for whatever reason. Hunter gets a lot. Samson now gets a lot, and then Nick gets a lot. So I don't think those guys should be up in their comments, 2 weeks out because people have no chill button, bro. And then even though they're nobody, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna think about it a little bit. Listen, it happens to me. So I go on YouTube. I'm like, why am I reading this? But you think about it, you're like, I'm small. I thought my arm is pretty big. know, bro. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like, you know, I'm like, shit,
Second guessing yourself.
yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
you
man,
know,
it's just people these days, man. On the comments, I literally got a comment today. It's like, does this guy have Down syndrome? I'm like, I got
bro,
fucking,
that's
I got game syndrome. You know what I mean? Like it's all about the game.
yeah,
I'm
It's-
3 times the size of your ass.
bro. It's crazy. And then if you're younger, like I know for Will, right? God forbid you're young and you actually build a respectable physique. You gonna die. Oh, motherfucker, you 20? Oh, you gonna die tomorrow, bro. It's like, damn, bro. Bro, you can't breathe. Imagine you fucking breathe hard on the camera posing. Oh, you hear that? You know what that is? That's fucking throat cancer, bro. I'm like, holy shit, bro. Relax. Motherfucker just breathe. He just worked out. He trained legs. He's breathing hard.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly. They're like,
Yeah,
oh, you look like you're 40 years old. You're gonna die tomorrow.
bro.
Been doing
that's a good
trends
one.
since you were 10 years old. All this stuff. So
It
there's
don't-
never
it-
no chill.
It don't. Me and Konevsky, we used to make videos in like our early 20s, and everybody would like, "You guys look 40 and you're dying." I'm like, I look back, I'm like, we look like babies. What are you talking about? We look like little kids.
Mm.
You know, like Will. I think Will looks like a baby personally, but people swear he looks like he's 40. Apparently, I'm like, I mean, I would wish to look like that at 40. Basically, you know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know, bro. It's
How old are you, Will?
you can't win.
I'm 20.
Yeah.
Will looks
It's a
20 in the
com-
face.
it's
Like
a
in
compliment, bro.
if
Yeah.
you saw him in person, you would think he's older though, because he's obviously muscular. So when you got that muscular jaw and stuff, like that takes time to build up. You know, like you've still got the cheeks, but you know, you
Yeah.
still compared to the average 20-year-old, you see a jacked 20-year-old like that. It's like
That's
you're
the-
thinking different about it. You know?
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Because what does the average 20-year-old look like? The average 20-year-old nowadays looks like they're 14, right? They're skinny. They got on skinny jeans and a huge baggy t-shirt or some bell-bottom jeans, and you know, you know how it goes. So it's like that's what they expect to see, but that's not what Will looks like. But it's not because he looks old. It's because he's not 140 pounds, right? So
Yeah.
you can't look like an average. We don't look like average 30-year-olds because average 30-year-olds aren't, you know, bodybuilders, right? So that's
Dude,
just
I
gotta
look like an
remember,
average.
Will-
I look like an average 30-year-old now. Like I've lost muscle, bro. I actually look back at some of the videos I made when I was about like maybe like 35, 40 pounds heavier than this when I was doing YouTube, and my cheeks were fucking blown out. And people don't remember, but if you look back at some like the old ones, I was pushing. You know,
Yeah. Yeah,
You just gotta remember, Will, like it's a compliment on your behalf when these people
It
feel
is.
threatened by you, because
100%.
you're 20 years
Mm.
old and these other 20-year-olds see you and they're threatened and you're making them feel insecure. That's why they feel the need to post. So it's just
Exactly.
reaffirmation that you're doing a great job, and that's all you got to remember. And that maturing in the sport is also, you know, being able to handle that kind of critique,
Yeah.
kind of troll shit. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, these are all people that are actually boosting you on social media. The more that they comment, and the more that they try to flame you, it's just boosting your algorithm and just getting you out there more. So it's a good thing when you
Yeah.
think about it that way, right? So
Yeah.
To me, it's funny. Like I don't take it personally. Like I'll click on their profiles sometimes and just start laughing because they look like they don't even lift. You know. So
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't troll a troll. Will is a troll, so you can't troll him. You're gonna lose. Like I think he honestly found. I don't think he's just saying that. I think he honestly finds it funny. Like he's literally laughing. You know, which is great because I don't think all of us. I think the younger guys are better at that because it's all they've known. They know how they understand the internet. People just be saying shit, right? Whereas for us, maybe we don't take it super seriously, but I think we take it more to heart than they do. You know what I'm saying? Because I really don't think we'll give the fuck. You know, like
I think on prep it's a lot harder. Like when you're
good point.
however many weeks out, it's just you get in your head and you're like, oh, somebody's like, oh, bro, you're behind or you're too fat, whatever. Then that's when it hits you, and you're like, I'm not too fat, but then you're like, what if I am too fat? And then that's when it will hurt you. So I think that's what gets most guys.
But basically what Rob said, what they're really it's like a compliment. So it's like if you're natural and somebody says, yeah, he looks natural, that's kind of disrespectful actually, because they're trying to say that you look small. You know, so if you're a 20-year-old bodybuilder and they say, yeah, you look like a 20-year-old bodybuilder, they're trying to say you're not impressive. You know, so if you're 20, they're like, "What? You look 40? Or you know, this is not gonna last." What they're trying to say is that, yo, you look big as fuck. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to say, they're trying to compliment you. They just don't understand, you know, how to do it. You know, so I tell some of my natty clients that people always say they're juicing. I'm like, great. I would hope that you look like you're juicing. I don't want you to look like their perception of what natural is basically you don't work out at all. That's what people think natural looks like. A person who never works out, you know, but at this point, you know. So
yeah, that's so true.
Plus, if there's any comment that actually does get to you, gets under your skin, just fucking block them. Done. Goodbye.
Do you know what's funny? So it's normally not the meanest comments that get to me. They're things that people will be a bit more like cunning about their comments. So they'd be the things where people are trying to push on like your insecurities, you know, like they're trying to get to you by pushing on something. And as like what physique wise, I could care less what anyone says about me. I know what my weaknesses are on my physique, like when I'm competing and stuff. And now like my physique is obviously downsized. You know, I know I can come back to it, but the ego is just not attached to the physique. It's more attached to what I do through YouTube. So if someone says, you know, something really negative about the way I do my YouTube videos or something like that, that will hit me more than something about my physique. Someone can go, "You got a shit back." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, it's behind the rest of my physique." It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, like it just flies off. But if you're saying something about what I do for like a living or something I enjoy doing or something that I think that I might be decent at, then it's like, oh, that hits harder. But now I've had so much of it. It's just that, like, you know, you just build up, like, it's like a callus, you know, on your hand. It's like you use the weights that many times, it gets stronger and stronger. It's just like that you get hit that many times. It's literally now. I just literally write back really friendly comments generally to people. Someone go, "Oh, blah, blah, blah," and then they get friendly back. They're like, "Oh man, yeah, nah, I watch all your videos, bro." Haha, like
they do.
Like, what?
They do it.
How could you be so negative and then come back like, "I love your videos, bro." But
what I will say is that negative comments are actually good for the algorithm, because when they start,
that's what I say. Thank you. Yeah, I say thank you.
Because when they start arguing back and forth, like let's say somebody says, I don't know, it don't even have to be about you. It could be somebody you're talking about. "Hey, Robin, I don't like how Robin's glutes look," and then somebody's like, "Fuck you, his glutes look great." And then they start going,
yeah, so get in the comments now of this video.
yeah, it's gonna go. And they start going back and forth, and then it's building up the comments in the algorithm, so they're gonna show more people, because now it's getting more comments. So my most viewed videos are the ones with the most arguments, basically. So negative comments followed by a rebuttal and back and forth. You know what I'm saying? I had a video on TikTok that got like 1.5 million views, right? And all that you saw, I don't even remember what the fuck the video was about. I think it was about different kinds of outfits or some shit like that. And people start arguing back and forth, like, "No, this is backwards, this is incorrect." And then I'm like, you wouldn't get it because you haven't got to that level yet. You know what I'm saying? You know, but everybody's going back and forth, and then it just keeps growing in the algorithm. So I don't block negative comments depending on, if it's spam, I'm gonna block spam. If every video I post, you just spam it and you comment 5 different comments of like just weird, creepy shit.
I'll block the creepy shit. I'll block the creepy shit. If it's like sexual stuff, it's like, what the fuck, bro? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or it's just not. There's no, like, you know, you're just like cursing and just saying weird stuff. I can't do that. But if it's like a legit negative comments that you believe in, we could debate, or I could just leave it up there. If you actually feel that way, like, this guy's stomach looks horrible, he's gonna get last place, that's your opinion. Cool. You know what I'm saying? But
I got a pro tip for you guys. You know, if you go into your settings, you can actually block out certain words. So if there's anything that you definitely don't want anybody to talk about, you could put like bubble gut. You know what I mean? And like just put bubble, gut. And then nobody can comment anything about bubble gut. Instagram will just automatically block those comments. So if you wanted to, you could do that. You know what I mean?
My thing is that
mine's different. Mine, you have to have like a negative comment in there. You like has to have gut or like something like that.
You want that in there.
Pointy, dealt. You know, like something like that.
I don't
really roll people up.
I don't want to block my comment threshold. I think that's my only thing. I want as many people to be able to comment as possible, just because it's gonna grow the video. You know what I'm saying? So I don't.
Do you allow the potentially inappropriate comments? You know how it gives you that option, like block potentially inappropriate ones. Do you block them or not?
No, I don't block it. My comments just say on, because it says on, off, and then potentially whatever dangerous. So I usually just put it on. But I don't think my comment section gets that bad. You know, it might be like people shit on other people's physiques. That's about it. But that's not that deep. You know,
I mean, unless you have valid, criticism, if you have valid criticism, you can talk that over. But if you're not, you're just a hater or a jealous person. Because you're taking the time off of your own page, to go on someone else's page, comment these things, and you're not even talking about a valid point.
I don't mind critique, but in prep I get a little trippy, because in my head I'm like, bro, like you think if a bodybuilder has small calves that they're unaware they have small calves? No, they're more aware than, like, no shit. Like, your weak body parts. So when random people say, "Oh, you could use more calves," it's kind of like, no shit. Like, don't you think I see it? I think that's the annoying part. The critique itself is not mine, but we don't post content for your eye, for your judging eye. We have our coaches and judges for that, right? That's my only caveat to it. So it's kind of rude to do that, but the critique isn't the offensive part. The offensive part is that you think that you deserve to have a critique about me that I didn't ask you for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the thing,
man. Let's face it, too. I was gonna say, like all bodybuilders are insecure. You know what I mean? Like, so
sure.
That's why we do what we do. We want to build the perfect body. It doesn't exist. So if there's one thing that we know about ourselves that it's not perfect, like, we're gonna know about it. We're gonna be insecure about it to a certain degree. If someone else calls it out, it's like, yeah, we know, and that's gonna bother us. There's no way that's not gonna bother us. That's why we go to the gym and fucking train so hard.
Exactly. Like the idea, like what they think is going on. Like, do you think like these guys? Okay, who has like a week? Okay, Andrea Presti. Do you think he's like skipping leg day? No, he's fucking probably training legs 3 times a week. So he knows and he's working at it. It's just, it is what it is. That's his body is his body. He can only change it to a certain amount, right? Johnny Jackson knew that he needed to bring his legs up, and I'm sure he was trying. It is what it is. So imagine just every day you need more legs. It's like, bro, I know, I'm aware. I'm working at it. Just relax. You know what I'm saying? Just calm down. Just relax. It's one of those things. Like, we're harder on ourselves than you are, and we want to win more than you do. So if you're like, how come Carlos should do more shows? Why doesn't, it's like, Carlos wants to win these shows more than you want him to win. Believe me. Carlos wants to win the show more than you want him to win. If he can't make it to the show because his colitis is acting up, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you got to believe that he's trying his hardest to do this, but you get to a point where you're going backwards because you can't digest food and you got blood coming out of everywhere. It is what it is. So he wants it a lot harder than you want it for him. So no point in keep telling him that. It's kind of stupid.
Yeah, it's like same thing with like injuries and everything like that. Just like Will said, it's like in the off season it might not bother you, but when you're like really like almost there and you think you're looking really good at that point, you could get set off because you get to that point where you get a little bit emotional, you start second guessing things, and that's probably when it's time to like just take a little bit of a break from social media. At least, like you're saying, like, make your post and then just sign off. Just post it and sign off. Like, you don't need to go back and check the comments.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I gotta.
And the other thing is, like, just like remember that every single person. So you might, like, backstage at a comp. This is like a perfect example. I went backstage and I'm like, there was 13 guys in my division. I'm going, that guy's harder than me. That guy's bigger than me. That guy probably has better shape than me. And I'm just like psyching myself out. I'm like, as long as I'm not like one of the last 3-4 guys, I'm like, yeah, maybe that guy can beat. Maybe that guy can beat. Got on stage and I won. And it's like, you can compare yourself to everyone. It's like, yeah, I might not have the best of this. I might have a weak area in this spot or whatever, but you sometimes focus on your weaknesses in terms of like personality, physique, whatever. And then if someone pushes on it, like Beatty, like someone goes, hey, Beatty, you got shit calves. It's like, thanks, bro. Didn't even ask
Yeah.
for your opinion. I just posted up a
Yeah.
photo. It's like a model's not going to post up a photo, and some other model's going to be like, "Hey, like your cheekbones, like if you had a bit more filler in there, you'd be so much more beautiful." Like, oh,
It's not
you know,
doing it. Yeah.
like, bitch, I just posted a photo of my face. I didn't ask you to critique it.
I got a question for Will, right? So most guys your age nowadays, they want to stay like a lot, like they want to stay basically lean or shredded all year round for, for I guess social media appeal or to look good in general. I noticed that you don't seem to care. You're focused on the mission ahead. You want to get big, and you don't care how you. I mean, you still look good actually, but just in general, like you're willing to push it to an amount that a lot of people, even my own clients, like your age and younger, they're really scared to put on. They're like, "Oh, I have loose skin," and you seem to not mind. Why is that?
I'd say most guys, probably my age, they are more like into the influencer type stuff. So they do it more for social media. They don't really care about bodybuilding. So, I mean, I want to make it as far as I can. I want to make it to Olympia. So I'm going to need to get pretty fat, pretty big.
Yeah.
I'd say it's harder if you have a girlfriend or something, because then it's like you trying to look good for her. But if you're single, man, it don't matter. You just get as fat as you can, big as you can, don't matter. So
I reckon it's the opposite, my man. Like if I'm your age and I'm single, I'm wanting to be a bit more lean. But if I've got a girlfriend, get comfortable, like just right into that off season, like winter off season with a girlfriend.
Good point.
Like,
yeah, they don't.
I didn't think about that.
Wait till you get 6 months in. Yeah, wait till you get 6 months in and then get comfy. Get into an off season.
Yeah, to be honest, when it comes to women, they don't seem to. I mean, like if you're in a relationship, they don't seem to mind that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I would get more self-conscious about that than my girl would. You know what I'm saying? But if you're single, you definitely get more attention when you're leaner. I don't even think it's the body though.
Yeah.
I think it's the face. I think it's the face more than anything.
Yeah, dude, I think it's the opposite with the body. I think a lot of women are really actually intimidated by guys that are in good shape, which I sort of realize, unless you're dating inside the industry or dating someone who's heavily into fitness, a lot of girls are really intimidated. And I never really got it. But even dating people for the first time, like I've had girlfriends in the past, and I'm not someone who overlooks what they eat or whatever. I'm very chill. I prefer not to do your diet or even discuss it, sort of thing. And I've had girls that have like literally shoved like chocolate wrappers down the couch and stuff like that, and they've been really insecure about all that sort of stuff because I'm perfect with all the stuff I do because I'd eat super clean generally, have my cheat meal once a week, and just keep it all pretty perfect like that. So they've got this level of like I can't live up to that.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was a thing because I've been in a relationship pretty much most of my entire bodybuilding kind of thing, but I just now realized that when you're dating, sometimes it becomes a thing like the bodybuilder thing, like, oh, what kind of girls do you usually date? And it's like girls that like me. I don't know what the fuck yeah. Or do you usually date like buff girls? That, not really. I mean, not specifically. Yeah, I mean, I could. I don't know. Oh, but how do you think? What do you think about my body? I'm like, look, I mean, it looks cool to me. What the fuck? What you want me to say? I don't know what you. It's like they think because you're a bodybuilder, you want like a bodybuilder chick, or you want a girl that's like obsessed with the gym. And it's like, I don't really care. Now, like obviously, like discipline, we find like discipline attractive, or like having some kind of regimen, right, where you're not probably just eating burgers and fries all day, But the idea that you need like a certain shredded look. I don't think any of us really care that much. So that's what I'm noticing now.
The full package, you know what I mean? It's like you can't have like a perfect body, but have like a terrible face, and that's not. You can't have a great face and have a terrible body. Like you gotta have everything, man. Like if you're attractive to me, it's just like, no, that's the girl for me. It's pretty simple. Like I never really overcomplicated like that. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like having a type, I've never been like, oh, this is my type. I'm only going to go for her. I just like when I met my girl, I literally just saw her on the Stairmaster. I'm like, wow, that's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. Let me go try to talk to her. And then here we are 2 years later. Like it wasn't, it was pretty straight cut forward, just like, that's the one. Okay, done. Hopefully she likes
Robin, what you said you saw her and you went and talked to her. What were your lines? Like how did you open it up?
I was just
Oh,
gonna
man.
ask the same thing.
Oh,
What did
man.
you say?
Zaid.
Super smooth. So that the first thing,
Do you compete?
she was on the Stairmaster. She was getting ready for her contest prep. So I didn't talk to her that day. I found her on Instagram, and then I had looked through her stories, and she had made a story about something about cream of rice, and I'm like, oh, what flavors do you like? And she's like, oh, I love the chocolate. I love. And then the next, I was like, okay, cool. What time are you gonna be at the gym tomorrow? She's like, oh, I train around 1. I'm like, oh yeah, I train at 1 too. So I just brought her like a couple bags from my sponsor, cream of rice, and I'm like, here you go. Like, I know you like these flavors. You know, if you like
Game
them.
over.
Easy.
Game over.
Whoa,
Game
that's
over. Yeah.
smooth.
Game over. The cream of rice is it's game over after that.
A
After
couple bags, different flavors. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, what?
I went and did all
both of
that.
these for me. I'm like, yeah, take it all. Take it all, baby.
Yeah, all of it.
Take all my cream of rice.
Yeah. Good job, Rob.
Speaking
Good
of
job.
which, that cream
Love
of
it,
rice,
it's cool.
Miss Pretty Muscle promotes. Andrea Shaw is her name, I
Andrea
believe.
Shaw, yeah.
Yeah, that's some good stuff right there. It's black rice, right?
Yeah,
I'll
it's
try
really
it.
good.
And I know Stu hates the black rice. I wanted to ask him about why he hates it so much, but dude, it's so good. Like I'm not even gonna get into it.
When did Stu tell you that? In prep or off season?
It was like I think it was when he just started prep. He said it was
Okay.
it was
Because
offensive to him for some reason.
when he's in prep, he hates everything. So don't take it seriously.
I'll make him a brownie. He'll turn around on it. He's gonna be in love with that shit.
Yeah, facts.
It's good.
All right. Is there any bodybuilding news? Let's see.
I just want to ask Nate, are you doing any other shows other than Cali?
Nah, I don't have the money to do it. I was gonna do Toronto, but my daughter is graduating on that Friday, so I can't fly up there. I think there's a meeting that Friday. So if I could, yeah,
You can
probably
make
not.
it. You can make it for the Sunday. Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the promoter if I could miss that meeting on Friday, and then because my boy lives in Toronto, so I was just like, I don't even gotta get a place. I could just.
I missed it last time. I missed it last year because
okay.
I literally tried to go there, and then I just couldn't make it in because I had to keep going to the washroom. It was crazy.
Yeah. So maybe Toronto. That's like very, but I'm thinking Legion, and I think it's October.
Yeah.
Because I'll be able to rebound a little bit and then get it over there. So, but yeah, other than that, like people want to say like bodybuilders should compete more often, but it's like most of us are funding it ourselves. So, yeah.
Well, they forget about that part. They really do.
Because you'll hear guys talking about, back in their days, right? They would get flown out to all these shows and they would compete in every show. And then I'm like, yeah, but guys aren't really. If you're Derek Lunsford, you're probably getting flown out to shows, but most guys are not getting flown out to these shows. So, but what the fuck? Like, this is an expensive sport. So for somebody to be in Cali and fly to Toronto and fly here, then fly to Texas, where the fuck is the money coming from? Like, what do you think is going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that simple. It's not that simple.
And you're not making money while you're flying. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
exactly.
So, double negative.
But then even on top of that, just for health purposes, if you're doing every show in a year, right? Then I'm like, okay, take for instance, right? Like Milos would be like, oh, I used to come completely off of gear. But then say I did 13 shows. I'm like, so how long did you come off of gear? In 2 weeks?
When was that time?
Well,
actually, Milos did say that sometimes, like between comps, I don't know if he was saying for himself or for someone else. I think he might have been saying for Samson, but don't quote me, about coming off. He said for 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm like That's not much of coming off. Like he might have come completely off. You just didn't do a shot for freaking 3 weeks. So, and
then what they forget to mention is that when Milos guys come off of gear, they're still on GH and insulin. First of all, so you know what I'm saying. So I feel like it sounds cool to say that, like, oh, we came completely off. Yeah, but we, you know what I'm saying. Like we're cruising for 8 to 12 weeks. that's gonna relieve your body a lot more than coming completely off for 2-3 weeks, because you're not really off. It's still in your fucking system for the next 4 weeks.
And tell me you feel bad when you're taking HCG as well.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
you feel,
dude, like I remember the
feel good.
first time that my testosterone didn't come back when I was doing like the blast and actually coming off. Like my testosterone, I remember like getting it tested, and the girl I was with at the time, she got her blood work too. My testosterone was lower than hers, and she was like making fun of me, and I felt so bad. And my estrogen was through the roof. That's way worse than my health than just being on a normal TRT dose to keep my testosterone in range. Maybe taking a
way
little
worse.
bit of like it's not like we do it. We do it because we want the advantage, but we're getting the advantage because we're actually keeping our bodies healthier that way. That's the whole point of TRT. You know what I mean? So it's like there's a reason for it. It's not like a badge of honor just to come off and have shitty blood work just because you're off.
Well, I don't think any of it gives you extra points. I don't know. Like the judges don't care like whether you came completely off or it's all just irrelevant. It's more like, I think it's a lot of times it's ego boosting. People feel good like, yeah, I take less than all of you and I still beat you. And it's like, yeah, but the judges don't care what you're doing. It's whoever brings the best package. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. When I was my first, maybe let's say 3-4 cycles. Let's say my first 2-3 cycles, I came completely off, and I didn't do ACG, Novodex, anything, because I'm from New York. A lot of old school New York people in the Bronx, they were like that. They were like, "Nah, just come off. Don't worry about it." And I don't get side effects from gear, but when I did that, I would break out. Like anytime I would come off or getting back on, I would break out. I would get the acne. I would get this weird skin texture thing, like it would look like eczema. I would get gyno, the whole nine. So from literally coming off cold turkey and getting back on, that would happen to me every time, And then I would actually lose quite a bit of I don't know if it's muscle glycogen or whatever, but I would look different, And it just didn't make any sense, Then I did PCT, coming completely off for a while, did that for a while, and similar thing. I still got the side effects from coming off and on. And then when I started doing TRT for the first time, maybe in like 2017-ish, 2018-ish, I felt great. I mean, I don't know. I felt great. My blood work is good. So why would I continue to do that just to say that, oh, I'm cool because I'm coming off? I don't know. Some people should, like my younger clients. A lot of times I'll have them come off as long as possible and then go from there. But it's
after taking that month off, I mean, not month. I took about 5 months off. Remember, off the juice, completely off. I will never do that shit again. I would be at least on T200. I would never go back to zero.
It's funny, right? It's like you're either healthy or you're not. You can't be more healthy than like. You're healthy and you spend your health. You don't just have like an accumulation of health that you can just be like, look how healthy I am. Like, you're either got more or not healthy, bro. Like,
you got like 10 extra health points, so you could use it later on.
Like when it's just like, level 99, maxing out my health over here. It's like, you live your life and you just slowly spend your health. So what do you want to spend your health on? Clearly, we made our minds. So
exactly.
We're just trying to
how many points we spend in each prep, like
hard a
prep,
lot.
like
quite a few.
2 out of 10.
Yeah, we're not counting those.
Quite a few. There was 1 year in 2019 where I had like a bad case of pneumonia. So I have like respiratory issues. I have asthma, and I caught a, for whatever reason, I caught a bad case. I know people still got pneumonia in 2019, if I'm being honest, but it happened to me. And then after that experience, I was in the hospital for like 2 weeks. And after that experience, I came completely off for like maybe 8 months. So when I came out of the hospital, I was already off. I was at home. I had to learn how to walk again and shit like that, just from being under. So I'm at home eating. I wasn't about to take shots. I'm in bed, So 2 weeks go by to take any shots. I'm like, I should probably start walking first before I think about fucking TRT. So I start walking. Okay, I should probably start going to the gym before I even think about that. So it was just I wasn't intentionally saying let me stay off 8 months, but I've already been. I was in the hospital 2 weeks, so there goes 2 weeks off. In bed for 2 weeks. That's a month. So what's the point of starting now? I'm not. I wasn't having sex because I just fucking had. I could barely breathe, motherfucker. So I ain't having no sex. So it just kept going, and I'm like, I'm 8 weeks in. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. You're gonna add muscle back because you just lost 20 pounds of muscle being bedridden. So I'm adding muscle back. I got back up to like 260. I felt great, and I'm like, okay, no point of doing anything now. I get to a point you're at 260 now. You can't recover. You're getting your strength back. Now I can't recover. So I added TRT, and I slowly did that. So there's a time and place. Even with Zayd, Zayd did a lot of shows in the last 4 years. So I could see how coming off, relaxing, going back, to Syria, that's beneficial for your body because you did rack up like fucking 12 preps, But that's the isolated incident,
Yeah.
So
17 to be exact.
Oh, that's not that.
That's why I came up for like almost 5 months, 6 months, because I owed myself, okay, let me just completely take this time off because I did a lot of stuff for the show. But now, and you are right, I did lose a lot of muscle. Now I gained 40 pounds, but some of that 40 is the lost muscle I've had last year, Yeah, so it's not new tissue, just regained tissue I had before plus a little bit more.
Yeah.
And the thing is, man, if you keep your foot down the whole time, like you look at maybe like Samson now, like if your body's constantly overreaching, like you need to give your central nervous system a rest, you need to give your receptors a rest. And if you have that 5 months, like Ronnie used to do it after every Olympia, like I'm sure he would either come off or go down to something lower like a TRT or something, and then not train or train very little. So he's giving his body a rest, his ligaments, everything, he's getting a rest. Had he trained the way he trained and trained year round, maybe Ronnie would have been done after 4 Olympias, or 5 Olympias. He would have torn apart something. He would have torn a bicep off. Look at Branch training in the same gym. Like he tore himself up. Like, don't get me wrong, he got second in the world, which is incredible, and most people will never get there, and it's probably well and truly worth the Branch. But at the same time, had he trained different, maybe he could have gone for more years. So it's like, Ronnie gave himself a rest.
Wonder, actually, like you said, like it always makes you wonder because I'm reading this book right now. It's like, well, like the warriors and their destiny, and it's basically like like no matter what you do, like you're gonna like your destiny is your destiny. Like you don't have to overthink things so much. Like you can cry about it all you want when you get an injury. You can cry about it all you want when you hit challenges, but like in the end, where you're meant to end up is where you're going to end up. So
see, that's interesting you say that, right? Because in my head, I'm like, if Ronnie trained different, there's a possibility he could have looked better. But what if he looked worse? I don't know. Now, what I will say, I think the part that is hard to argue is that could he have been healthier physically if he trained different? I would believe yes, but like Rob said, what if the back injuries are genetic? And I mean he hurt his back in high school and college already before. I don't believe he actually hurt his back while he was Olympia, right? So it was kind of an old injury that compounded over the years. So if he wasn't the Ronnie that squatted 800 pounds, would he still be in a wheelchair? I mean, potentially he could still be, I mean, Ronnie wasn't the only one to squat 800 pounds. There's plenty of powerlifters who squatted thousands of pounds who are fine now, right? So
squatting 800 pounds has nothing to do why he can't walk. It's the corrective surgeries that he had after the screws broke in his spine. I feel bad for the guy because he's a legend. People think that lifting that much weight broke his back and he couldn't walk. It's not the truth, man. It's the wrong size screws in the spine that was applied by the doctor while he did the surgery, and it was malpractice. And the screws broke in his spine, causing causing Ronnie to have about 6 corrective spinal surgeries, and that one messed him up. These ones messed up his legs. I don't
Last
think
time,
it's the old injury. I don't think
Hey,
it's the fucking deadlift or the squat.
yeah.
I think he's had way more than 6 now. I think he's up into the teens, up in the high teens or something.
Last interview I seen, I think he said 11. So he might be even more than that at this point. But yeah, because in that case, what about Mark Bell? Mark Bell squatted what 900 pounds, 1,000 pounds. Is Larry Wills gonna be in a wheelchair? You know, so it's like so many. It can't be that because we've already seen so many people do that and not have that issue. So
everyone has I will say, man, everyone has a different level of what their body can tolerate. Like I know my body, I have tiny ass. Like my wrists are freaking like skinny as hell. So I know that my body can only handle so much weight and being under so much weight. Like, and I've got bulging discs in my back and they're like messed up. And I know when I was squatting heavy, and I actually think it was partly due to doing like glute bridges and the supporting muscles that actually tighten can actually push your back to go like that and then push the disc out. So yeah, it's different for everyone, but I know like it can not help if you're going really, really heavy and you're already sort of prone to it a little bit, or if you've got a slight bulging disc and then you're chucking a ton of weight on your back, it's like then it can
especially plus these guys in the world's strongest men athletes, these guys are animals, bro. They squat 900 for a full set of 10. Maybe
I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I honestly don't understand how their bodies. Think about it. Our bodies are not designed to squat 900 pounds. They're not designed to squat 500 pounds. So the fact that some people's bodies just don't break under that. I suppose some people just are just genetic freaks. It's like some people are super, super, super strong connective tissue wise. Like you look at a lot of like Samoans and these different like islander countries, man, some of these guys,
that's what
they just go and bench like 300 pounds without ever training. It's like, dude, I'm benching 100 max without ever training at like 30 years old, probably.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Some of these guys, like Polish guy, guys from Iceland, a lot of these guys from Europe, I mean, they have like really big bone structures, right? Frames and bone structures, so they can handle things that a lot of other people can't handle. Even though Larry is one of the strongest people ever, his body couldn't handle strongman. When he tried it, he was tearing shit up left and right, just because as strong as he is, he doesn't have the frame. He's 6'1" at that time, maybe 280. These guys are, 6'5" minimum. Yeah. So they have the frame, and he didn't even have the stomach. He's doing Atlas Stone. They're resting it on his stomach. He's grabbing the shit with his arms. That's a huge disadvantage. He has to be so much stronger than them to actually do what they do, which is not what you want, because your body is not gonna take it. And he stopped. He's like, fuck this. This shit is not.
That was sort of the same as Marius Pudzianowski. Do you remember him?
Dude, he's my fucking favorite. He's fucking crazy. Oh my god!
I'm watching him in Australia. He was jacked. And dude, the thing is, it is hard when you've got more muscle. It is more fatiguing to actually do those longer exercises. Don't get me wrong; it's harder with fat too. But if you got more muscle, you've got to oxygenate more muscle. Like you watch. This is a weird example, but watch like Survivor back in the day. I remember watching that. I remember there's a guy on there, and he was like a muscular black dude. I'm like, he's gonna kill him. Like all these challenges, he's gonna murder him. But because they're eating like not much food out there, he's got a lot of muscle to maintain. He would do these challenges and suck at all of them, like the athletic ones and the strength ones. Even he's just like dying every time. So
it's one of those things. When Pudzianowski competed, a lot of the for whatever reason at that time, a lot of the events, they required a lot of strength, but also a lot of endurance. You would see him doing a lot of like running with whatever blocks or doing this kind of shit. So he made easy work of them, because he was just as strong as them, but in way better condition, right? So now, if you notice, when they talk about strongmen, like the greatest strongmen, they always say, Brian Shaw's, and then the guy, I forget the other guy's name, but they don't seem to mention Pudzianowski a lot, because some of them feel like they didn't like the fact that they like strongmen to be just pure strength, and at that time, for whatever reason, there was a lot of endurance based stuff. So people don't give him the respect he deserves in the sport. It seems like, but I don't think that's fair.
He won it 5 times. He won it 5 times.
That's what I'm saying.
So that it's like this
that's
is
what I'm saying.
just unbelievable. You know.
He also didn't make the events. He showed up and competed. So it's not up to him to choose the events. They're choosing it. And listen, he was just as strong as you guys. He just happened to be in better shape. If you're mad, then get in better shape. Then you could be him too.
But maybe like in terms of the individual lifts, he's not as strong. But you know how, like you said, if it's more reps, if it's like, you know, some sort of slightly lightened weight where they're doing 12 reps or 15 reps with something,
he's
or
gonna
some
win
sort of
every time. Yeah.
He's going to have that sort of endurance. But they actually said, I heard on a podcast recently that it's actually gone that way a little bit again.
It is,
Mitchell Hooper winning last year. And then Brian Shaw has his own event, which is apparently a bit more strength-based. And Brian Shaw won his own event, which is...
Of course it is.
But he's tailoring it more to his stuff, you know?
Well, because if you go by pure strength, then the guys like Brian Shaw and Thor are going to win all the time. And if you go by more of the approach they had back then you're going to have guys like Mitchell Hooper win, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, just be as well-rounded as possible. Like Pudzianowski is not about to deadlift 1,100 pounds like, you know, like Thor and Eddie Hall did. But that's fine. He didn't have to do that back then. So I think the argument, if he competed with these guys, who would win, depends on the events. That's why you don't get, you tend to not get like a 5-time winner. Because depending on the events, one person's going to win this show, and I think that makes it fair. You know, you can have a bunch of different events, and whoever's the most well-rounded wins. You know, so
yeah. I was going to say there's no equivalent to bodybuilding, is there, in terms of like what events and how you show up? But I suppose there sort of is with like lighting of shows.
There's another legend that needs to be mentioned: Big Z from Lithuania. You guys know
Zydrunas Savickas, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's another.
That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah, did you see how this guy trains? Did you ever watch that? I think there's like a film or a documentary or something about how he trains, and he just goes like into like this basement by himself. He's like, "Yes, this is where I train," and he just like trains like nobody around. It's like underneath the bleachers in like a stadium, and it's like there's nobody else around. It's just like it's like the most hardcore epic fucking thing I've ever seen. I'm just like, God damn, this guy. So, it's like training in the darkness, you know? He just comes out and kills people when it's time to compete.
Man, it's hardcore.
But it's similar. It's like even like the Destiny thing. It's like you show up and then those are the events that you have to take on, whether it's you have more endurance for this event or you have more strength for this event, or same thing in bodybuilding. It's like you show up and part of that destiny is like, well, who else is going to show up at that show? Because if nobody else shows up, then it's there you go. There's my qualification to the Olympia, right? But
exactly.
Same thing with injuries, man. It's like injuries, just like Branch Warren. Like, did he hurt himself in the gym? I don't think so. I think he hurt himself like slipping on ice or something, like going downstairs or something like that, tore his quad. Or like Antoine
he fell off the horse.
Fell off a horse. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck? Antoine Vaillant, like he's never hurt himself in the gym. And then he hurts himself like, you know, helping to move machines around or something like that, or like just, you know, random shit like that. Or Nick, for example, it's like just out of the blue, it's like boom, it's like, okay, I guess you weren't meant to do that show, you know. It's all for a reason. It's to teach you something. And that's kind of the idea in the book. And it's like you can cry about it, you can talk, and you can try to make justifications for why it happened, but for why it happened, and there's the challenge, and you're meant to overcome that and learn something from it. And then the next thing is there for you.
Every single bad thing that's happened to me, it's almost like the worse it was, the better it was for me. But you can't see that in the moment. In the moment, you're like, what the fuck just happened? This is horrible. My life is over. But then 3 years later, I'm like, wow, if that didn't happen to me, I wouldn't have the mindset I have now, and I wouldn't actually be where I'm at now. I would probably still be in New York doing whatever the fuck I was doing in New York. You know what I'm saying? So every bad event that's happened in my life turned out to be the best shit ever, you know. And literally, the worse it is, the better it is. It's all part of the journey. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you didn't fall off your ass and bust your head when you was 2 years old, you would never know that you can't jump off the fucking couch head first. You got to do it the first time to learn why you can't do it. So you gotta make these. You know what I'm saying?
Beatty puts up a photo tomorrow, like guards in hospital. I started to jump off the couch, like fuck. I've never done it as a kid.
You got to do it now. So it's like, you get mad that you dated that one girl that was crazy and stalked you and told everybody bad things about you and all this. And then you're like, oh, that was meant to happen. So now when I meet this good girl, that you appreciate the good girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That never happened to me, by the way. My ex is great.
Nah, me
She's
neither.
great.
Me neither. Yeah.
What strain you got there, Zaid? You got the Northern Lights, or what you got over there?
I ran out of those, dude. These are really expensive and very rare to find. The Northern Lights.
Oh,
These are
excuse
just
me.
cheap local joints. Yeah.
The finest, the
They're still-
finest weed for Zaid.
Zaid,
Bro.
I had
Hard to
Northern
find up
Lights
here.
before. Northern Lights. I don't know how you function on Northern Lights. Northern Lights is like I'll sit on my couch and be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna watch something and be
Yeah.
just gone, man. Just that's a couch sticker.
That's indica.
No.
Northern
Northern
Lights. What
Lights
is
is
it?
indica,
What
isn't
is it?
Hybrid?
Yeah, Northern Lights is
Indica.
indica.
I think it's a hybrid.
I'm looking.
Zaid
It up.
can't tell. It's all the same today.
But yeah, those
I
indicas
guess
lay
so.
you out though. Yeah, and the sativas. That's what I could do. And
To be honest,
honestly,
Yeah, I'm the same.
all of
More
that stuff
sativas.
never got to me. Indica, sativa, like if you give me a joint, I don't know.
no
I'll
problem.
smoke
It hits me the same as like indica, fucking sativa. They don't fucking affect me. They affect me in one
Yeah.
way, but they don't have difference between them. For me personally, do you get
see,
what I mean? Like some people smoke indica before they sleep. They smoke
Yeah, yeah.
sativa during the day.
You don't know.
Yeah,
that
That's
stuff.
just
Here we
the
go.
same.
Northern
It's just
Lights
weed.
is an indica. Northern
Oh,
Lights
is
is an
it?
indica marijuana strain made by crossing Afghani with Thai. Northern Lights produces euphoric effects that settle firmly throughout the body, relaxing muscles and easing the mind. It
That's
says
how they
here
make these
somewhere.
strains. They fucking breed different weeds together.
Together.
Yeah.
Bro,
So
they
far?
do.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
My ex's dad used to be a horticulturalist, and I had no idea what they do with like these plants and stuff. So he had a apple tree in his backyard, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm mating it now." And I was like, "Excuse me,
What?
like, what does that mean?" He's like, "Oh, I've grafted it," and he's like taped one part of a male one and a female one together, and you tape it, and then you get a shoot off it, and then you
Wow.
plant that, and that's how you get another apple tree or something. And I'm like,
Holy fuck.
this
That's
is what they
insane.
must do with weed. So they cut a male and a female weed plant, I'm assuming, and then put them together, and then you're getting your hybrid,
What?
like your.
They making
They
babies.
don't do it like that, but I mean,
No, they don't.
Nah, you just gotta have it
Just say
right by it.
Oh, right by each other and they go
Yeah,
together.
yeah, because the males have the seeds. The males have the seeds, and they pollinate each other like the female plant. And then once you get the strain that you want, you clone the female. You cut branches off the female and you clone it. Then that's when that strain is done. Now, you know what I'm saying?
Nate.
See, Nathan
got some
sounds way
experience.
smarter than me,
Look
man.
at that.
Look at Nate. Nate got some experience in this field, huh, Nate?
I did a little cloning in my life. I tried to figure it out when everybody else was growing weed. I'm like, man, let me see if I could do it.
Smart man, man.
Yeah, but it was
man.
like it's
I
harder
assumed it
than
was
it
the same
looks.
way.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's
Does
smart.
sativa
Yeah.
hit you different from indica?
Me, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
And you,
I
Robert?
don't.
Oh yeah, way different.
Why you answer? Yep.
Oh.
I
It's all
don't.
good.
I don't really smoke until prep. Like when I get deep in prep, that's when I smoke. And at that point, if I'm 6 weeks out, it makes me no difference. Indica, sativa, I'm just high all day, just to get by, But I feel like this
Try
prep
to get by.
I feel like this prep is gonna be different. Like I'm tired, but I don't feel that feeling. I don't feel that feeling like I'm dragging ass and my brain isn't functioning. I'm not there yet. I still got 10 weeks.
Just
but
wait
still,
like 3 weeks.
it's gonna come in. So I just felt a little irritable, but hopefully because in the past I've done like 2-3 hours of cardio. It doesn't seem like that's gonna happen because Compton is giving me refeeds like every 4 days, and I'm like, holy! And he's giving me like a 3-4 day refeed. I'm like, holy shit, this is nice, man. This is nice. I must be getting that muscle maturity, but I'm getting that something is changing.
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
Good.
In the past, every check-in, I'm like, he's gonna give me more food, and he drops it. I'm like, oh. And this time, I'm like, yeah, he's definitely gonna drop it, and then he doubles it. I'm like, okay, well, you the coach, man. I can't say no to you, coach. I gotta do what I gotta do.
How's your knee? I heard you tweaked it.
I'm actually icing it as we speak. You know, here's my dilemma. I'm 10 weeks out. If I gave it 2 weeks not training legs, it would probably be, and did a bunch of TB, BPC, I'll probably be good and be able to train like 80% for the rest of the prep. But I'm going to the gym anyways and training like 80% now. But then every time I do that, it gets more swollen. But I can still train because, listen, when it comes to pain, bro, we bodybuilders, I don't give a fuck about no pain. It's not the pain. It's just that, do I want to make it worse to a point that maybe a couple weeks out I can't train it? And I'm like, if I can't train it for 2 weeks at the end, I don't think I would lose anything. Now, if 10 weeks out, I take a break from it, I don't want to lose that fullness. I'm like, if I can go through the pain and my legs are getting pumped and my legs are actually looking better, I'm gonna just do it, bro. You know, and some people's concern is that I don't know what's going on and I could make it so bad that it could turn out to end up in a tear or something worse. I don't know. What do you guys think?
What
I think you should be loading up on peptides right away.
For sure.
I am.
Because, yeah, you know, but you don't want to risk that in the end. And as you get leaner, you will have more injuries, God forbid. You might snap something or pull something. So I feel like if you can do it now and see how your body reacts before it's too late.
Definitely don't wait.
Do what
on
Milo
that.
says.
I would be doing at least 500 micrograms of TB500 and 500 micrograms of BPC every day, twice a day. And you can even do the TB500 more than the BPC. The BPC, 1 milligram a day is where it kind of maxes out. You don't get any more benefit, but you could do TB500 like, dude, you could do 10 milligrams a day if you want to. You'd sleep and recover so well.
Yeah.
But what actually happened?
I was leg press. I didn't feel an injury. I was leg pressing and I went heavier than usual. Let's say usually I might do like 8-10 plates. This day I felt good and I went to like 12-14 plates. And then the next day I wake up and I go to stand up and my knee just feels like filled with fluid. I go to bend my knee and I can't get a full bend. And I have like a pocket of like fluid on the right side, you know, and then it started bringing some tightness to my outer sweep. And then my calves was a little sore. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to skip. I have a ham dominant day and a quad dominant day. So on the ham dominant day, I just skipped quads. Then Monday came, I was thinking about taking it off and I started off, you know, let me just get a pump, see what I could do. And you know what happens then. Then I end up doing extensions with the stack. Then I'm leg pressing. Oh, let me just do 4 plates. I went up to like 8 plates, which is like 70%, I would say. And then I got a good pump. The quads felt great, but the knee felt worse. So then I'm like, fuck, you know.
Honestly,
and I just
what I would say is like you have to start rotating the tires. Don't, in terms of like exercise selection. Don't do any of the exercise that you would normally do, except for the ones that don't give you any problem whatsoever. Anything that you feel any kind of issue with, like if it's a leg press or it's a squat, just take those out, rotate the tires and pick different exercises. Because that way you're actually gonna be able to stimulate new muscle tissue versus, you know, just trying to like bang your head against the wall to try to keep up to do the same shit. Because it's not gonna happen. It's just gonna get worse, right? It's gonna get in your head too much. But there's so many different exercises you can do for legs that you can still get growth with and train through. And then that's not going to be causing an issue for your knee, right? And then just work on your feet and work on your hips, because the thing is like, I always try to explain this to my clients that people don't really understand. They're like, oh, it's my knee's giving me the problem. Yes, that's where the pain and the manifestation of the injury is happening. But the knee is like the middle brother, whereas the foot is like the little brother and the hip is the big brother, right? So they're always beating on that middle brother, and he's got no say in it, right? But if you can fix your foot and you can fix your hip, then you can start tracking again properly. And then by the time you're like 3-4 weeks out, if you start working on it consistently, you'll be good to go, bro. You know, but the thing is like bodybuilders are so stubborn. It's like, oh man, like if I don't squat that 5 plates, like my legs are going to shrink. If I don't hit that 10 plates on the, you know what I mean? But get that out of your head, bro, because that is absolutely not the way it's going to do it. Not going to go. Yeah, just different exercises, new stimulus. That's what you need.
The one thing I haven't done is any form of squatting, whether it's hack squats, machine squats. That I feel pain. I mean, like I said, I feel a little bit of pain on everything, but that I feel amount of pain that I feel is dangerous. So that I completely stay away from. The leg extensions, I don't. It's weird because it's directly on the knee when you do it, but I don't feel pain on the extensions.
You know what
the
could
leg,
help? The belt squats are great for that.
Belt squats are
Shark
awesome, man,
pits,
for injury.
belt squats.
So
yeah.
The
Something
one
about
belt. Yeah.
yeah, something about the motion of a squat. I can't unless I just do the upper half maybe, but I can't get down right now. Just the swelling doesn't allow me to get full range of motion when I'm standing up. On the leg press, I can get full range of motion. I don't know why, but when my hips are bent like that, I can get full range of motion. But when I'm standing upright, I can't get in the hole for some reason.
Hey, Beatty, can you do can you do any movements in terms of, because like with a leg press, maybe your feet are a little bit higher, so it takes a bit of attention off your knee, having your feet higher. So maybe when you're squatting, it's just too much tension from the front. So maybe if you do like a hack squat, but have your feet higher up on the platform, maybe it will take a bit of attention. It will obviously put more onto the hamstrings and glutes, but at least it will take a bit of attention off the actual kneecap.
That's what I thought as well, but I wasn't able to do it. I tried the hack squat, and my feet were like off the platform and wide, and I still couldn't get down. But on a leg press, even with my feet like low on it, and I'm getting knee flexion, I can still get knee flexion for whatever reason. Something about the angle of the way my hips are aligned or whatever. I don't know. It's allowing me to get low. But just
let me get you on the newbie, Beatty. Come on, man. That's a perfect time right there. This is the perfect
destiny, bro.
time,
Destiny, you can't escape.
Destiny.
Come on, that's an
lining
offer
up.
you can't refuse, dude. None of that shit is gonna matter if you have the newbie.
You can't escape destiny, man. You can't escape faith. You know what? I might just give in to this newbie.
Actually, one the guy that I work with, Eric Seifert, who does muscle activation techniques. He uses I don't know if it's a newbie or the NX10 or whatever, one of these machines. And he usually will use that with me when I'm really fucked up. He'll put me on the table and he'll do muscle activation with the electrodes on.
Damn.
So you could try just doing therapy with that, that's what he was telling me in his opinion, that it's really effective if you do therapy, if you've got injuries, just doing it on the table. And then you go into the gym and you train like normal.
Yeah.
You can try it that way too if you don't feel comfortable with the wires in the gym. Like there's different ways, like the same tool but different ways to use it, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Robin, can I ask a question?
No.
With oh, okay. with the newbie and all those machines, like the electro, stimulation. I've used those pads before, which you've probably seen. They're probably on like Temu and all those websites now, where it's got like the ab ones. Temu.
Yeah.
And then you got like just those pads where you put it on your chest or wherever. What's the actual difference between something like that, where it's you put it on your shoulder and your shoulder's going like boom, 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 going crazy, and the actual like the newbie type machines? Now I know you can't just chuck one of those things on your shoulder and go train. So that's obviously one big thing. But is there any actual difference to what's happening with the actual muscle?
That's actually a good question. I'll ask Eric about that. But when I was working in like a physiotherapy place, we used like a cheap one because the machine that we were supposed to use broke. And I remembered like I was like asking the client like, hey, like, are you noticing any like improvements? And they would always just tell me week after week, no, nothing's improving. So I think that there's something like in terms of if I had to think about it, I would say, well, it's with the newbie and like with those expensive machines, like it's so precise in terms of like how much stimulation you can do, where you can like get it down, because you almost don't want to feel it. Like you don't want to feel like the electricity of it. Like yes, it's stimulating stuff, but it's almost like it's bypassing the nervous system, so it's going into your body versus like it's like on top of the skin and it's like actually like electrifying your skin. So I feel like you almost get no benefit from those ones, but there are some, like I worked with like a chiropractor and he was like really fond of this one called the Power Dot, which I never used, but they're like a couple $100 and it's kind of like one that you put in your pocket. And I did bring it up to a client and she was getting like arthritis in her knee. And then she was just like every day she was like bringing it to the gym and like training with her knee and stuff. And it's like, yeah. So,
and you got pocket size Temu fucking what's that shit called, newbie machines now?
Yeah,
They-
I mean,
holy
that's
fuck.
probably like the cheapest like one I would recommend is the Power Dot. I've never used it
Yeah.
myself, like I said, but I had a client who got good results. But anything that comes from like Temu or fucking China, I don't know, man. Like
I
that,
just want to add to
might
this.
cost
Everything comes from China. Everything comes from China.
Most of them, yeah. These machines all
That shake
have
you're
different
drinking out of,
grades, you know?
Robin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at all. What you said?
I was saying these machines all have different grades. The Newbie Fit is a medical grade device, and it's supposed to mimic the signal your brain sends to your muscle. So that way it literally mimics that signal. So that's why it's probably the most effective one. So it's a signal that's been sent to muscle that's familiar with. That's why it's used, and it's used with people who have muscle atrophy to kind of stimulate the nerves in that atrophied muscle just to help it grow, you know?
Yeah,
But to answer your question, it's all about how much voltage or how much current can you crank out of the machine. So the smaller the device, the smaller the current is going to be. The bigger, the better, you know? And this fucking machine is huge, bro. That's why you need to wheel it in on a little cart. So I'm assuming if it's a smaller device, it's going to be way less of an electricity intensity for the
yeah. You just got to be careful, right? Because I do know, like, there was a couple of girls that were doing this for their glutes here at Pure Muscle. I'm not going to name who was doing it, obviously, but there was a guy who was coming around doing this, and he wasn't like licensed or anything like that. And there was one girl in particular. Yeah, there was one girl in particular, and she actually tore her glute while they were training because he just turned it up too much, and she had to get treated for like 6 months from Dr. Khan because like it tore her glute off of her bone just because he had turned it up. He's like, hey, how's that feel? Let's turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. So like you're saying, Zay, these things are not to be played with. Like you're right. This is to be handled by a professional who's who knows what they're doing. So that's why I only trust Eric to put it on me because he's been doing this for 15, 25 years now with professional athletes. So yeah, you don't want to just pick up Joe Schmo and just start trying to stimulate those muscles. You're gonna risk versus reward, right?
So Robin, do you stand behind the newbie? Do you feel like it's helped you out?
Personally, like I said, I use it for if I'm injured or my body's really fucked up. I'll go see Eric. Normally, I go see Eric every week, and he does muscle activation therapy. If I'm really fucked up, then he'll bring in that machine from his other clinic so that we can get a little bit more out of that session. But I've never used it in the gym to say. I've only ever used it on the table.
Okay, that's what you're saying. Yeah.
A follow-up to that also is one thing that I will do is I'll do stim with acupuncture. So I do have another guy that comes over and he'll do acupuncture where you put the acupuncture in and then you stimulate the motor unit with like an electrode device. And again, it's like less is more in that regard.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let me
see. It's just like a little bit more invasive because you actually have to put the needle in, right? But I mean, I don't think we have an issue with that. So
look at Jordan. Jordan looks good.
Ooh.
Yeah,
he looks really
good. Yeah.
His arms came up so much.
Yeah. He looks like Regan and Ian to me.
Yeah.
Like that,
he's a hybrid. He's like
a hybrid.
He's a barefoot shoes guy. Good man. I'll see him in Chicago then.
Let's see who we got.
You gonna go to see him just because he goes barefoot?
No, I'm gonna go down and compete with him. Take his shoes off. Put him in my gym bag. These are my shoes now, bro.
Hide them.
I'm just kidding.
Man, Tonio's back is insane. I think he has.
Yeah.
Do you guys who do you think have the better back than Tonio other than Derek?
Regan.
Oh, Regan does have a really good back, actually.
It's hard because of structure, because seeing Tonio's back on it by himself, it looks like the best back in the world.
Yeah, it does. But next to Regan, I think Regan's back lat spread may be the top 2 in the IFBB. Top 3 for sure.
It's always been like his best pose. That back lat spread's always been like a fucking crazy pose.
It's insane. His front lat is good too, but his back lat is crazy. Now
Yeah.
back double biceps, Derek by a mile, and then maybe Tonio second back double. Oh, Nick has
I don't know,
the back
man.
double.
I don't know. Like you put these guys side by side. Tonio is very, very, very good. He's no doubt in most shots. He's like top 5 in the world, easy. But I just think size wise, like just because Tonio, you look at a lot of those shots, man. That front lat spread is insane. The ab and thigh is great. The front double biceps are a really good shot. Like he's got a lot of really good shots. And if he's top 3 in the world in all of them, it's like, well, why isn't he top 5 at the Olympia?
And look right there. There's a perfect example. Like you see a fucking crazy back. Look at second comment. What? He's gonna cry again? Like, bro, you're a fucking loser, you know?
I don't see. I think Tonio's short, but I don't feel like he looks undersized on stage for the most part. Now, obviously, if he sat next to Nick, he does look. But when he was next to Stu, bro, Stu is big as fuck, and he did look bigger than Tonio, but not to the point that I thought it was a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Because Tonio's rounder. He's just like more bubbly. Like look at his triceps, his delts. Like they just 3D. You know, it's that 3D.
100%.
4D.
Yeah.
So like actual size of his back is probably not even top 10. The actual size, but the way it looks on his body,
quality, bro.
I guess that's what Xavier's saying. Is it that if he stands next to Nick in the back double, Nick beats him. But Tonio's back looks more complete. But Nick, even the arms and shoulders, I mean, Nick is just the hamstrings, the adductors, is just going to be too much size, you know, to beat him. So I would say Nick has a better back double than him if they're being compared. But by themselves, it looks like Tonio does, right? For the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, Antonio by himself on stage looks like a top 3 of a Mr. Olympia, probably, you know? Like he fades a little bit on that side chest. He sort of just lets his chest go in. He's not pushing his chest out. That sort of drives me a little bit insane, and then fades a little on his side try. Outside of that, every shot is killer. I can't think of one that doesn't look insane.
This is why he's like Dexter, right? Because if that top 6, top 8, if any of those guys miss even 10%, 5%, then that's because Dexter was like a top 6 guy no matter what. If any of those top 6 guys are a little bit off, he can jump literally to first. That's he won the Olympia. He went from first, second, third, fourth, everything. But when you're outsized by that much, sometimes it takes somebody being a little bit maybe not as sharp for you to leapfrog over them, right? If that makes sense.
Yeah. Therefore, you start comparing him to Dexter, you're gonna get those old school guys jumping down your throat on that one.
They don't like that. But it's funny because Dexter agrees with it himself, right? Doesn't he?
I mean, I think we all do. I mean, like fucking look at the guy, you know?
Yeah, he looks crazy.
Yeah.
You got Quentin here.
Yeah, big Q.
Oh, actually, that last spread's looking good.
I'll say one thing as well. I heard the Menace podcast with Milos and Dennis James and all those guys, Chris Cormier. And Milos was saying about Quentin maybe not having the size and it's just not that muscle yet. I love Quentin. I don't want him to think that I hate him or anything like that. But he was saying about all that sort of stuff. And thanks, man. I was saying, look, in certain parts, I agree. Like he's not big enough to win the Olympia this year or anything like that. But Quentin is like 6'1". He's still going to fill out. I'm sure this is a flat point of his prep. And I think that he's going to look bigger on stage in this. I think he's going to look even harder on stage in this. Like, look at those glutes. Those glutes are there. That side leg never has looked like that before. We're seeing different parts to his physique. Now, these photos do sway me a little bit as well because because everyone's so close. You got Beef Stew. You've got, everyone in that lineup. And Angel Calderon. You got to factor all these guys into potentially being up in like second place. So it makes me go, I could put Quentin in 5th. You know what I mean? But then I've also got predictions where I'm like, I could put Quentin in 2nd because it's just so hard to sort of pick, Yeah. It's really difficult.
Milos also talked about his quads being behind. He obviously he's super flat here, but I always felt like his legs was his best body part. Is it just me? I felt like his quads and calves are like his best body parts, personally.
Yeah. I heard him saying that about the quads, but I think they're fine to me.
I think they're big. Well, he was comparing him to Samson, But Samson is Samson legs bigger than Quentin? Yes, but not. I don't think it is proportionate. I think Samson overall is just bigger than everybody, besides maybe like Nick and Hadi. But Samson is just bigger. I don't think that means his legs are bigger in particular. I think proportionately, Quentin actually has big legs on his body, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. I think on his body, his legs is probably his best body part. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, they match the top. Yeah, they're not. He's not bottom heavy. I mean, it matches the top to bottom perfect to me.
It does.
Yeah.
You know? So, I think earlier in his career he was a little bit bottom heavy. No, at one point, but not anymore.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like actual quad off the bone, like the quad that comes off the bone there's actually quite a decent amount of quad. But you know, when some people just, I don't know if it got bigger, just the musculature like near the leg, or if it just got bigger, thicker femurs or what. But Samson's got like just a thicker leg, you know, more. But Quentin has the same amount of quad, sort of like that sticks off the bone, which I like the look of that, to be honest. But yeah,
Samson had the bigger everything, including waist too, right? So proportionately, it kind of evens out. But Samson is for sure. I mean, yeah, for sure bigger than him. You know.
Yeah, Samson is he's like filled out, whereas Quentin needs to still fill out, obviously. But also, Quentin's got really nice feathering in his quads and good separation in his quads this year. So
yeah. Also, Quentin is 28. Samson is 38, 37, 38. So I mean,
a decade of size right there.
Yeah, that's a day. Yeah. That's a lot of time.
Yeah,
Martin
I agree with the top. I agree with the top comment here.
What's that?
Gusto.
This a show.
Oh, the branch one comment or the Gusto one?
See, I told you. I agree with
it. Wait, Branch for real? Do you guys see Branch?
Hell no.
I mean, is he a bald white guy that looks grainy?
Because he's bald.
That's about it. But like I think he has a lot better shape for sure, and muscle bellies.
I don't see that with Brent. Him and Branch, they don't look alike at all.
Yeah, Branch is like a mutant type freak. Like, Martin is like a pretty physique. Yeah.
I used to tell.
Honestly, if I don't know if I have to say that, but he looks like a shorter Justin Compton.
Bro, you stole the words out of. I was gonna say because, but what I used to tell Martin that I've never seen. I think I said on the podcast to Martin, I've never seen somebody that round and full and conditioned since Phil and Justin Compton. And I always said that because people are usually shredded or like bubbly, but to be shredded hard and bubbly, very few people can get that genetically. And yeah, but basically, so when I look at him, I see that look in his muscles that Justin and Phil had. I think Bonac had it for a little while, maybe at his prime.
Yeah, only 17.
Dude, but Bonac in person, like that first show where he broke out in Australia against Sean Roden, man, like that look. I was there with like Dave Palumbo and Elvos, and we were like sort of freaking out, like that sort of round bubbliness.
It's crazy.
He is super brown. Yeah. For the record, dude, I changed my top 3 for the New York Pro. It's gonna be Nick, Martin, and then Tonio, and Quint 4th and 5th is Stu. In my opinion.
No Tim Budishin?
Tim is gonna be 7th, 8th, something like that. Amir is gonna be in the top 6. He's peeled, you know. So that's officially my top 6 right there. You know,
he's so peeled. Here's my fear, right? Anytime I see Amir, like, look, where's that picture of Amir? Didn't I just see him? Like I've seen a couple of times where Amir, like, leading up to the show, looks so fucking. This to me looks ridiculous. He's not even flexing his glute. He's pushing his ass out, and his glutes is shredded. You know, but then I'll see him look like this, but then on stage it doesn't translate. I don't know if it's a peaking thing, but have you ever
translates.
seen it?
Man, have you seen that show that he did last year? I reckon he's the most shredded. That was the most shredded package of anyone of the year.
Yeah,
but he was
against
flat.
Roman,
he was flat,
right?
That top middle photo, I think, is where it was from. But that was not the actual show. But you can see the top middle. No, up one.
Didn't he do a show? Got second place to Roman when Roman won.
Yeah, This was I think just before it. I'm pretty positive. And like he looked like that on stage. He was, to me, I think if anything, he was slightly harder than Roman, which is the most insane thing to say ever.
I mean, he's shredded, bro. Like ridiculously shredded. I kind of feel like that has to count for something, no? Like being that shredded, I feel like that has to count for something. But does it? Like, where does he place usually? Like second, third,
top
fourth?
five. Top five,
Okay.
yeah. But he has done some weaker shows as well. Like he has done some shows that haven't been as strong. Like that show that Roman won, you know, you had Roman in first, you had Amir in second. And then after that, like I feel like an asshole saying this, but I can't actually, off the top of my head, there's a lot of shows last year. I can't even remember who was third or fourth. So it goes to show it probably wasn't the biggest show. Although those guys in third and fourth, I don't want to say anything because they were probably actually awesome. But, you know, just in terms of standard, it wasn't Nathan D'Asher and Regan at the top.
Yeah. But if I saw this, if somebody sent me this picture, I would say and tell me this guy's about to compete in Europe, I would say this guy's gonna win the show. Just because
insane, isn't it?
To be that shredded and still have this amount of muscularity, to me, I feel like that would be hard to beat besides any of like the really, if Beirut comes, he's gonna win. But like most of the guys, the Prestige, a lot of the European guys, I would think that this look would be enough to beat them, but I don't know.
Well, man, ask this. I think this could be enough to beat Tim possibly, but do you think it could beat Angel? Because a lot of people are putting Angel outside the top 5 and Angel the top.
I forgot about him.
Top
Damn.
212 Olympia guy. So it's like, so you've got all these guys. It's like Amir could be awesome and finish in 8th. That's like the quality of the show.
So hard to say.
I think they have similar physiques.
I think so. It depends how it looks on stage. If Amir looks like a taller version of Angel with a slightly smaller waist, then I think he should beat him. I think he should beat him, but it depends what it looks like. If Angel just looks dense as fuck and shredded, and then if Amir looks a little flat, because sometimes he looks a little flat, then he won't beat him. If he peaks perfectly, I feel like he would beat Angel possibly, but.
You could argue that Angel's a little bit like torso dominant as well. So if he's going up against enough guys that are aesthetic guys, then he might get pushed out of the top 5 or top 6.
Damn. It's just pretty filled in. The waist
he's a freak. Like he's a fucking freak. There's no doubt about that. It's just how he stacks up. I don't know, man, because he looks crazy on his own. And then when you put him next to guys like Quint or Martin, who have small waists, I don't know.
Hey, Beatty, I'm going to stop you. You were saying about the waist. This is 1 week out guest posing.
Yeah. No. But not from like the guest pose. In general, his waist appears on the blockier side. But you know what? I got to be honest. It's not even that. I think if his arms were like 2 inches bigger, that wouldn't matter as much, right? Imagine if Nick Walker had like smaller arms. That would not complement his physique at all. I think the big arms can overtake the waist, right? Whereas with this, I think imagine this with like 22-inch arms. I don't think the waist would be an issue if he had like big limbs, right? If he had like big arms.
But, because he's thick through the torso, he's got that real thickness, and then his quads are not his strongest part, and his arms are not his strongest part. All the rest is the strongest, the back is enormous,
chest,
that's part of it.
Yeah, so that's one of, and he has shorter arms as well, so it's just one of those things. I think if he had big arms, I think he would place higher,
Yeah.
All right. I think that's enough here. All right, let's get into questions real quick. I'm trying to keep it like 2 hours. So
are we doing predictions?
Oh, for New York? This is too hard to predict. Should we?
Yeah.
No, well, Zay did them, so
that's the
why not, man?
I mean,
I'll give mine. I'm just going to put them out. I might change it before I do my podcast, but I'll put in first place. I'm just going to fuck it up. I'm going to put Martin in first, and everyone's going to say I'm sucking Martin's dick, but everyone said as well. I said he's going to. Yeah, well, maybe, man. If he wins the Olympia, I might give him a no. Second, I say Nick Walker. Third, I'll say Tony O'Burton. Fourth place, Who do I have in fourth? I'm going to say beef stew, just because I think he compares a little bit better with these other guys, and he's sort of a middle ground in between Quentin and that top group in terms of height. And then I'm going to say Quentin in fifth, taking nothing away from Quentin. And then in sixth place, I'll say Angel. And then seventh, Amir. And then eighth, Tim. So,
Oh,
sorry, man. Sorry, Zach. Feel bad.
I think we're all gonna have the same top 6 to 8, but the order they're gonna probably be every single one of them have a different order.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So
like I feel ridiculous. Whoever I put in fifth place, I feel like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, no matter what, there's no way around it. That's why I didn't want to make predictions, but I'm like, who cares? Like, where somebody's gonna be right, but everybody else is gonna be wrong, right? Because it can flip any way. You know, it can flip any way.
Quentin, don't come for me.
I would go Nick. I'm gonna go Nick. Between Martin and Stu, I think it's gonna be the closest battle. So I'm gonna go Stu, then I'm gonna go Martin, then I'm gonna go Quint and Antonio. You see, no matter what, you're gonna feel like
Antonio is eighth in the Olympia.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's so crazy.
Putting Antonio fifth sounds crazy, but putting anybody fifth to me sounds crazy. Because Martin fifth, Stu fifth, it just these guys are not fifth place guys, but somebody's gonna be fucking fifth. You know, somebody's gonna be fifth. You know, I don't know. The last updates by Stu is bigger framed than all of these guys by quite a bit. He's gonna look very big compared to them.
He's also substantially more conditioned than he was last year, and he was close to Tonio last year. So
yeah,
I do think Stu is a good shot to be in that top 3 for sure.
I think so. I also think he compares really well to Nick and Martin. Nick obviously by far is the most muscular guy, but structurally, Stu has a bigger structure than him. So I don't believe he's gonna look much smaller, if smaller at all.
I want to say one thing about Stu too that, you know, to me it's very impressive is how much he doesn't take the pressure on himself. Like a lot of these other guys, you can tell how much pressure they put on himself. Even last year, I noticed in New York, how relaxed and laid back he was. And then he starts blowing away all these guys when he gets on stage, where I feel like a lot of these guys put so much pressure, so much anxiety about being their first place. And sometimes that's a hindrance, but Stu is really, really good at just staying cool, calm, and collected. You know what I mean? And I think that's a huge advantage in the pro bodybuilding ranks. Because like I said, like it's all mental. When you're getting on stage, the fluid dynamics in your body can shift from anxiety and pressure. When if you could just fucking chill out and relax and just enjoy the fact that you're going on stage, man, you're gonna look good. And that's what he's done. That's what he does. So, and I feel like that's gonna be a huge advantage, like I said.
I agree, you know. Martin is bubbly as hell, so he's not gonna look undersized neither. But I feel like in my head, I'm seeing Nick, Stu, and Martin very comparable going after it. They're all huge, they're all shredded. And I think Stu has the best taper, shoulder to waist taper with the quads, the best X frame. So I think that's gonna count for something, bro. It's gonna. I get it. He's never won a show, the whole 9, but it's gonna count for something. Personally, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
What do you think, Will?
If Stu can, sorry, 1 second. If Stu can bring enough fullness with that waist being really, really tight, sucked in, he's going to do good, man. But he just, I think Stu can't 100%. Be flat to have a chance of being right up there. He just can't be like flat. But he's in condition, dude, and it is hard to spill when you're in that good a condition. But it's just going to be about, can he fill up enough with keeping the waist tight? So
I think he should almost spill on purpose, but not Friday. Like try to spill like around Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday be like, okay, this is the limit. Now pull back carbs to like, I don't know, like maintenance, like a baseline or like a low day. So then you can get the stomach down. Show day, you're coming into show day full, so you don't have to eat a bunch of food. Show day, your stomach stays small, but you're still retaining some of that glycogen from Thursday, and you're just dropping water. You know,
It depends on the person as well, man. Like some people freak out when they do that because they'll see they spill, they hold water, and then they up the diuretics a little bit more, then they flatten out, so they still look fat. Dude, I know people that have done that so many times, and I'm like, yeah, well, here you go. just triple the diuretics, because you spilled, it makes sense.
And start taking out Dactone.
Lasix.
Lasix? Yeah. I would. I mean, that would be like the last card. Like,
No. I'm not saying to do it, but I'm saying.
Yeah. Why would they do it so early? If you spilled on Thursday. Like, I'm not shooting the LASIK on Thursday.
The way I look at diuretics, I think people look at diuretics as part of the peaking process. I look at it as the fail-safe. I look at it like, okay, you did everything right, but maybe like what we just said, maybe you over push the carbs a little bit. Okay, now we can try to pull back down. You're still a little bit watery. Let's do a quarter diazide, half a diazide. I think that's what it should be used for. I don't think you should peak with the intention of purposely holding so much amount of water and then take it off, right? I think you should be peaking in a way that you can step on stage already. And then if you need a last minute, there's a little bit of water on your glutes, let's get rid of it. I think that's what it should be. I don't think it's just like, okay, 1 week out, we're going to start without Dactone, and then we're going to do that, like without even looking at the physique. I don't think that's the way to go about things. That's how they do. That's what they did back in the days. But I think there's better ways to do it.
I had a client once, and he was just deciding to add in his own combination of things to get the water off. I'm going to add in. What was the one I said before? The diuretic.
Aldactone sucks. Never use Aldactone.
Lasix. So he said Lasix. So he said, I'm going to add in Lasix. And he goes, and this guy told me to take potassium tablets as well with every meal. And I'm like, I said, if you do those two things together with what I've recommended, you will die. Like you will probably go into a coma, because you're going to get complete potassium overload and probably slip into something a bit more comfortable, like a coma.
I don't think that's a coma. I think that's dying.
Yeah, because when you take Lasix will take potassium out of your body.
Take everything out of your body.
You need to take potassium. So it's like I'm going to balance out this one thing with taking this other thing. It's like that's way more risky.
Can I tell you something else as well? He was actually taking another diuretic as well, a potassium sparing one. So he was wanting to take Lasix, a potassium sparing diuretic, and potassium on top of it. And it's like, that is just a recipe. That is how that's more dangerous than anyone taking these big cycles and stuff like that of just gear. That sort of one little individual thing for the end of a contest prep is so much more dangerous. And that's why knowledge, like this guy was like, potassium tablets, that's safe. It's good for you, man. Potassium and bananas, like, nah.
You can kill yourself with potassium tablets. Like, why? I don't think you need to be messing around with potassium. If you know what you're doing, you shouldn't be messing around with potassium. First of all, why are you holding that much water a couple of days out to begin with? That's the issue.
But they're not even. That's the thing. This person in specifics wasn't. They were just going, I need to do more. I need to do more. I need to do more. This person reckons this is good. So just add it. Can't hurt. Add it.
Yeah. If you even feel the need to stack a bunch of diuretics, like visually, if you're like, damn, I really need this much diuretics to look ready, the prep is over. You failed the prep. You're not
6 weeks out.
Yeah, so at that point, don't even do the show. You know what I'm saying? So you should have been ready weeks out already, and say if not a week out. So if it's last minute and you need a fucking cocktail just to look decent, then that prep is just fucked up already.
I was looking at like you got your tools in your tool belt, right? It's like, okay, like what's the right tool for the job here? Like, do I need a hammer or a screwdriver? Do I need a fucking sledgehammer? Like, I don't think I need the sledgehammer right now. I can probably just keep that in the tool belt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's coaches that 16 weeks out, prep starts. Okay, we're gonna start 80 micrograms of Clan, 40 T3. Before they even know like the rate with which your body loses body fat, right? Imagine me throwing that in before even knowing what your body does under diet and cardio. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you use that tool? What if I would have give you 20 minutes of cardio, cut back 100 carbs, and you would have lost 10 pounds? But now I don't know that because I already added in collagen T3 before I even saw the progression, right? You know, so what? Now you lose 20 pounds, like, you know. So it's like you don't add things just cause. You add things only by what you see, you know. Or like some of my clients, they're like, "Hey, what are we doing next cycle?" Literally in the middle of this cycle, you're asking me, "What are we doing next cycle?" Fucking 6 months from now. I'm like, how the fuck would I know that? Like, what are you talking about? Oh, I'm just
I'll give
curious.
you an estimation, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I got a general idea, but like that's irrelevant right now. Let's just focus.
Man,
on
tell them it's real high. Just save your money, man. Save your money, and then just application prices and give them a small
usually
cycle.
that question comes because you're trying to stack it up.
Oh, okay.
Trying to get it ready. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're broke like me, it's like, hey, I got to get my inventory. It's gonna take me a little bit.
I didn't think about that. I always wait last second. I'm like, oh, you're gonna need Halo last 2 weeks. I'll tell them this like 3 weeks out. And they're like,
oh man, you're an asshole, man.
I didn't even think about that. Like you need time to see. In my head, I assume that bodybuilder are like me, and they just got a bunch of just gear lying all around the place, and they just that's what I or not me. I'm just talking about some of these guys.
Someone like
somebody like me, but not me in particular. That's what I assume when I think about a bodybuilder. I just think there's just juice all over the place, and what I need, a Halo, okay, and you just grab it, But you're right.
It's like it take me 3-4 weeks to get something in, and so it's like, man, I need.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, so some of these compounds, if I'm getting something from like Europe, overseas, or something like that, bro, it'll be like 10 days. That should have get here like in 2 months, bro. And I'm like, bro. I don't need it no more. Just forget about it. It's over.
I got you ordered. They're like, what package?
Yeah, what this? It comes in a fucking hair dryer or some shit. A hair dryer. I fucking break the hair dryer in half, and I see Primo. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? The Primo from this two months ago. What the fuck is this? They get creative now. It'll be a rice cooker. I'm like, a fucking rice cooker. I'll break the shit down, and I'm like, damn, is it that serious? The fuck?
Best rice cooker ever.
I remember there was this one brand way back, and it came in like lubricant packets. I'm like, what the fuck?
The fuck is this?
Like you would look at the number, and then you would go on the website, and it would tell you, oh, this is whatever. It's like it'd be like men's lubricant, and holy fuck!
Oh, great. Right.
Hey, if it works, it works, bro. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Lube gains.
Yeah, what was the question?
Dual purpose.
We were doing prediction. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Will was about to go. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Boom. The thing you said, I completely forgot.
No worries.
All right. Since Martin won, is it possible for him to win again? Since he won a pro show already, right? Do you guys think they would give it to him again? Or let's say if him and Stu were so close, they'd just be like, okay, Stu wins because he hasn't won a show yet.
I think they'll give it to Nick or someone else if it's close. Like, I don't think there's corruption there, but I think there's like, if it's 50-50 in your mind and you're a judge and you're literally on the fence, and I've been there, man. Like, I've sat at a show going, shit, I don't know. Like, these guys are close because you make a case for either. Maybe just that subconscious goes, Nick isn't qualified, but there is more money on the line. $5,000 ring plus $30K for first.
Yeah, that's Steve has always said we only judge what's in front of us. He said that shit 100 million times. I see why you say that. That's totally valid, but not in this show. I don't think. I
don't think so. It's just that subconscious. The subconscious mind of the judges. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that, like the judges are going to vote for Nick or for Stu or for Tonio because they haven't qualified yet. Because I think there's more on the line now compared to 10 grand.
I'm just saying that because I have a feeling, so don't get mad at me for this, but I have a feeling Nick is going to come off. Like, I don't think he's going to place well. I think he's going to mess up his peak or something. So I think he's going to get second or third. So I think Stu is going to win. So I know it's a wild card, but I think Stu's going to win. I think either Nick or Martin second. So let's just say Nick second, Martin third, and then I think it'll be Quentin and then Antonio. That's my top 5.
Ooh, he
I
mixed
like
it up.
Spicy.
He
Whoa.
mixed that shit up. But I was gonna say, yeah.
If this happens, Stu will 100% cry on stage. Guaranteed.
Me too.
Guaranteed.
I'm fucking crying too if Stu won.
Yeah, seriously. me
I'm
too,
crying on the
if
stream.
this happens.
Yeah. I'm gonna just get on Instagram Live and just cry. I fucking up, Stu, man. I knew you could do it. I had you first in my predictions. You know.
That's beating Nick. If you beat Nick, that's big time.
That's that'd be wild.
But
Yeah.
if Nick comes in 100, he's winning that show. Like, nobody's
Yeah.
beating that.
Okay.
So when it comes to Steve in particular, I think Steve has the least subconscious bias out of anyone. Because I remember, Kai was training at his gym. Victor was training at his gym. And Jay still beat Victor. And Phil still beat Kai every fucking time. You know what I'm saying? So,
That's true.
Steve, but Steve doesn't judge the New York Pro because he's promoting it. He's walking around and doing the whole stuff. I don't know who the head judges. I would assume.
But do you know, I feel like the judging is going to be fair because we've been seeing these amazing breakdown videos after every show. So, I think the winner is going to deserve it. It's not going to be, because the other guy is qualified or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? Because we're getting a lot of content from the judges nowadays, explaining why each and every single person is winning and why they're winning, why they won over another person. That was really good to see, you know.
That is. All right. Who didn't go? Nate, did you go?
I got Nick winning. Then Tonio, Martin, Stu, Quint.
Wait. You went kind of fast. My brain is a little slow right now.
Yeah, my mind just struggled. I was going.
I got Nick coming in first, off or on. Like, I feel like he just has too much muscularity. He's kind of like Samson. Like he could come off and still win with this stack with these people. And then Tonio second.
Okay.
Martin third. Stu fourth. Quentin fifth.
See that's valid too. I mean, it all.
I think that's the most probable to happen. You know what I mean?
Well, history
Martin,
too.
Probably maybe Martin in second, but like you said, Nathan's is smart because you got Tonio, who's 8th in the Olympia, man. Like you got to remember that. Just behind Crizzo, just behind like Hunter and those guys. Like there's not many guys that Tonio didn't beat last year.
Well, and also Tonio added about 10, 12 pounds of stage weight on top of that look, you know?
Does he add a 12?
He was what 212 and then he was 2 in the 220s. I forgot he said it. Oh no, not from last show. From last show from Olympia. He said it on the podcast. I forgot. I think he said
I remember he said 212 in the Olympia, 224 on the Arnold Brazil stage.
Oh, okay. Yep.
That's a lot.
Oh, yeah, that is from you. That is. He's 212 last Olympia. He said on stage.
Yeah.
That's a lot of muscle for a lot of added muscle for a 5'7" guy with a small waist. That's a lot, you know.
And it goes to show how good Vito is as well. You know, good Vito wasn't heaps off Tonio. You know, good Vito wasn't heaps off Martin, and it's
he wasn't.
Bro, so good Vito is legit, man. I missed on that one. Bad.
Me too. If Vito did New York Pro, this show would be bigger than the fucking Arnold. You know, I mean, it's to some people, it probably still is. You know, because Martin didn't get invited to the Arnold. God forbid you invite fucking Martin to the Arnold. You know, but for whatever reason,
I question Brian Powell's on that.
Yeah, because at first we said, "Oh, he didn't win a show. That's why." But then we were like, wait a minute. What about what's the Brazilian guy? We were like, what about Horse? Horse just turned pro. He ain't win nothing. But you know, Horse got that kind of pull, I guess.
Got followers.
Yeah, but I think I think Nate has the most accurate if you go by the books. If you go by track record, textbook picks, that's the most logical to explain. Right? As far as
think
rankings,
Tonio's going to beat Martin?
I don't think he will.
He
but
beat him before. Mm-hmm. He beat him before at the Legion.
Oh, he did.
Oh.
You know,
he was smaller then. But I mean, they were both smaller then. But
they were both small.
Yeah.
If you go by rank, if you go by rankings, Tonio is higher ranked than everybody besides Nick. So if you go by that logic, then that would be the case. Just in my mind, just looking at what I've seen this year, I think Martin's going to be so. It depends how they come in. I think Martin's is going to be really bubbly. I mean, Tony is bubbly too. You know what? I'm gonna just stop right there. You can't.
It's too hard.
Dude.
Martin tried to pull down a little bit more. He looks like he's trying to be a little bit leaner, so it might be a little less bubbly. So
yeah,
What about
I like that. I like that look in Detroit.
Yeah,
I do too.
Mine's going to be the same as Nate. I think it's going to be Nick, Tonio, except I'll flip flop Stu and Martin. So Stu, then Martin, and then Quentin. I think.
You know what? If they all come in exactly how we expect them to come in, I think Nate is going to be correct. If anybody comes in better or worse than we think, I think that's when it flip flops the most, right? If all things considering are just exactly what we expect, I think Nate's is the most realistic. Now, if Martin, he's going to be leaner. Now, if he's leaner, but then still matches that bubbliness, that would put him over Tonio. Stu is shredded. If Stu comes in with like crazy fullness, that could put him potentially over both of them. You know what I'm saying? I think Nick gets this regardless. Like Nate said, Nick's off right now is Arnold. That's the most off Nick's been. And that was literally like one of the craziest physiques we've seen. So Nick's off, I don't believe is enough off for him to lose. I don't think he's going to be off, but if he was slightly off, I think it would still be the winner. Now nobody else can come in even a tiny bit off, so
Stu's got the best abs and thigh out of the bunch. So he's got that pose locked in. And then from there, other things can happen.
Stu might have top 3 abs and thighs in the business.
Yeah.
Right?
Ridiculous, man.
That whatever reason, his sweeps just flare the fuck out. The way he hits it, he knows how to suck in his obliques and flex it at the same time. So he doesn't get that little tire action. It all just gets smaller.
Yeah.
Let's go, Zaid. Did Zaid go? Oh, you went?
He went first. He did his top 3, I think. Didn't you,
My
Zaid?
bad.
I could tell you it's Nick, Martin, Tonio, and Quentin, and Stu.
No, that's not it's all good choices at this point. And Xavier?
I gave mine, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, perfect. I forgot, but
I picked Martin to win, bro. I picked Martin to win.
Yeah.
Oh, you both? Oh no, you picked Martin, and then Will picked Stu.
Me and Will, we're going against the grain. Dude, I think this is the best chance for a lot of guys that are in this lineup to potentially beat Nick Walker, because Nick Walker at his best doesn't lose this show. Like, he just doesn't. And we saw them 1 week out exactly. And Nick Walker said to Tony Doherty backstage in the NPC News Online interview, he said, "Oh, what do you expect to see on stage? Blah, blah, blah." And he's like, a champion, someone, but basically who's better than everyone on stage easily. You know what I mean? And we didn't see that. Like, I think that Martin looked better. If that was judged like a bodybuilding contest that day, I think Martin wins, but obviously it's not. So it actually doesn't matter, but it matters in the context of we see them exactly 1 week out, their physique from when they stand on stage. Nick's body was tanned. Martin's body was tanned. Nick's head wasn't tanned, but that doesn't matter. Cut the head off and it's all good. But the thing is, it's like, yes, Nick will drop water, I'm sure. He'll try to peak for it, so he's going to carb up, which will make him appear a little bit harder and whatnot as well. But Martin didn't carb up for that either. You know what I mean? And Martin looked full and bursting. So if once Martin's carbed up and done his whole thing and peaked for a show, I think Martin's going to look a lot better than Detroit. And I think that Nick, while I think he'll look a lot better than he did at the Pittsburgh Pro guest posing, I've seen Dennis Wolf do it before. He was 1 week out of a New York Pro and guest posed, and everyone said he is going to do crap. He's fat, all that sort of stuff. I think a week later he got second or won it and looked great. So I know physiques can turn around and look completely different. And Matt Jansen has said to Nick, "Trust me," all that. But for Nick, in that interview, like, I know, Beatty, you heard it, it did sound like that after that guest posing and Nick probably got the feedback online, he was probably like, shit, like, okay, I was expecting to maybe look considerably better than everyone here, considering he's a week out and he's the top ranked guy. So I think that he probably in himself went, oh, damn, shit, I've got all these people saying this. He talked to Matt. Matt's like, dude, don't worry, don't stress. He spoke to Steve. He mentioned that. So he had some concerns, obviously, but I'm sure he's going to pull it in. But it is the best opportunity, I think, that any of these guys, maybe in the next 12 to 24 months, to beat Nick Walker if he doesn't nail his 100% best. Because prepping for a New York Pro is different to prepping for an Olympia, even if he does take that same mentality in. It still has to have a little bit of difference, you know?
It also helped Martin that he's on the rebound. People forget that he didn't show up. So helping him rebound from the show back up eating, I'm sure he started eating after the show once he got qualified. So, you know, you got about 8 weeks. Within those 8 weeks, you got to look crazy. Whatever.
Again, it's like the mental pressure too. It's like the pressure's off for Martin. Like he's just collecting paychecks and having fun at this point. He's already done what he wanted to do. So he's got no pressure now.
Yeah. See, Nick is like, this is a funny analogy, but Nick is like Drake in this, because Nick is already at the top, right? So
is Martin Kendrick?
I
mean,
hope not.
Tonio's Kendrick.
I was gonna say,
when you're Drake, like Nick is a Miss Olympia, but in this scenario, he would be the Drake. So Drake is already the top guy. So that beef for Kendrick, even if they went bar for bar, the best he can do is stay right there. You know, the worst he can do is come down. Kendrick ain't released no music for how long? So you know what I'm saying? So for Kendrick, it's a win-win. He's gonna either, even if it's close or he loses a little bit, he's still gonna just raise his stock. And if he wins, which he's gonna, you know what I'm saying? So he's gonna get to the top, whereas he's here. If you're already here, there's no way to go but down, right? So it's like, did Kendrick beat Drake by the masses? It sounds like it, because Drake can't get any higher, so he just stays there, gets lower. Whereas Kendrick, it's a win for him no matter what, right? So Nick, the pressure is that he can't just win. The only win for Nick is if he dismantles them. If he just beats them, it's like, I like Martin's physique better. You know what I'm saying? So
what you're saying is that Martin is Kendrick, and he can spit bars. Is that what you're saying?
so
that's the widest thing I've ever fucking said, man. That's the widest thing I've ever said.
Spit bars.
Well, see, so basically, in my eyes, lyrically, it was a tie between Drake and Kendrick. Kendrick won the culture. You know what I'm saying? He won the culture, and he's the underdog. The underdog always has the most love, right? You know what I'm saying? So in this situation, a similar situation that Nick isn't going to get the most love because he's expected to win. So the only true win, Drake would have had to completely dismantle Kendrick for him to actually benefit from it. If it's even close, then it's like, it's a loss. You know what I'm saying? So Nick wins the show, and if Martin or Stu are close, it's gonna be, whoa, did you see Martin and Stu? You know what I'm saying? Where Nick's the one, but people are like, whoa, look at that. You know, so it's one of those positions that it's a hard position to be in. You know what I'm saying? It's a hard position.
People don't want to watch the same movie twice. It's like, you know, and when when you watch like with Ronnie Coleman, everyone Ronnie to lose. Flex Lewis is probably the most liked bodybuilder out there, right? Or one of the more liked bodybuilders out there. Mm-hmm. Everyone at the end was wanting someone to come and overtake Flex Lewis at that 212 Olympia. Unless you're friends with him or a huge just Flex Lewis fan. Everyone was like, I want to see a battle, or at least you want to see a battle and you want it to be close and you want it to be a 1-point decision. You know, you want to see a different movie than a domination every year.
That's why the Jay and Ronnie rivalry is so legendary, because they were like that close.
They were,
right? Went back and forth.
I know you guys are in prep. Anybody got to run off and eat, or y'all good for a couple questions?
I'm good for a couple of questions. I think honestly, everybody on Canadian Beef has bailed on me tonight, so I'm here.
This podcast game is tough.
It could have just been you and me, Robin.
Yeah, bro. It's all good. It's all good.
For time, man.
I'm just getting I gotta line up more guys for next time, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, you know how much guys I line up sometimes, bro? Because I messaged your group. I'm like, who's on? Nobody replied. And I'm like, Then I'm like, okay, Paul and Joe have been super quiet. They're like a week out. They're probably not going to come on. Stu, if Stu don't reply, Stu, he might be on a plane for all I know by now. So I'm like, okay, he's not getting back. So I'm like, my entire crew is not going to make it. So I'm like, okay, so I got to reach out to, I don't know, at least if it's me, I know Zayda was going to do it. I got to reach out at least 4 or 5 people, minimum. Sometimes more than that. So I literally reached out to like, I think his phone died or something.
Yeah, we got 5 or 6 Canadian guys, but everybody's got their own shit going on, I guess.
You gotta get like another 5 guys who are tentative, who might, who like maybe there's a 50% chance that they can hop on last second as well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the only. If not, bro, it's impossible. Like you said, everybody has stuff going on, and sometimes like when that happens, I'm like, fuck, man. But then I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. You almost can't like feel like, damn, please just help me out. But it is what it is. Everybody got their own shit to do. So I look at like, I'm gonna just stack as much people as possible, and hopefully I have enough guys. If I have even 2 guys with me and it's 3 of us, we can make it happen. Answer some questions or something.
Hey man, the positive, I get to hang out with you guys for longer, so it's all good.
All right, there you go.
That's it, man.
All right. And you can always reach out to me, Robin. I'll get on there.
No, I appreciate it, but bro, you do this podcast for like 3 hours, and then to come on another podcast, I feel bad. But if I need you, I'll
he jumps into mine about once a week as well.
You guys to come on my podcast, right?
Oh yeah,
we'll do that.
Let's close it off and just go.
Nate, Will, Xavier, get back on. Let's go.
There you go.
Desktop Nation beef, man. Desktop Nation beef.
Yeah.
If you guys want to do it, we could do it. Just do a quick hour. We'll run over Pittsburgh, New York. Questions. Get out of here.
Let's see what's up.
I'm down. Let me get food, man, and then I'll do whatever, man. Because I know the pain. I know the pain.
All right, we'll do a 30-minute break, and then we'll do a quick 60 minutes if you guys are down.
I bet.
I could do it I'm good until 5 PST.
Yeah, all right. That'll be dope. I actually really appreciate that.
I just gotta eat. Man. I just gotta eat and text my client and see if she could do a little bit later. If she could do a little bit later, I'm good. But I'm pretty sure Zayd can. Zayd guys got to charge his phone. All right, let's see. Top 5 most genetically gifted bodybuilders competing today.
Well, we're guessing because we don't know. Like, are we talking shape, structure, putting on muscle? What are we talking?
Let's go by.
They all have good genetics. It's kind of a dumb question.
They do, but I'm thinking of it like how. Like their muscularity, not the amount of muscle, but the way they look, right? Their structure, shape, muscle bellies, things like that. Because that's the only thing that you could 100% quantify as good genetics. Because we don't know how fast they put on muscle, or how hard they diet, or how much cardio they do. So just like structurally, muscle belly wise, and insertions, like Phil Heath has good genetics, no matter what he did, right? Because that's just how he's put together, right? So I'm gonna go. Because you can say Nick has good genetics because he fucking put on 80 pounds of muscle in the last.
You just said insertion structure.
Yeah, no.
You were emphasizing that.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, like, if you leave it open ended, that it can go any way. Yeah. So if I'm thinking about it the way I just said it, I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna say Keon Pearson.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say Andrew Jack. I'm going to say Tonio. See, Derek Lunsford, it's the way he's pulling that vacuum.
Yeah.
Because if I'm thinking about him just standing there, is that like genetics? Obviously, to a point, it is genetics. But I don't believe that's like Keon or Andrew. Or that's more just he's posing to his advantage. And I don't know, he's shredded, I guess.
But overall genetics, if you're talking overall genetics, I'd say probably Derek Lunsford is up there near number 1. Probably Michael Lockett is one of them as well, who just, it depends if you're talking about realizing genetics or if you're talking about, actual, genetics plus what have they achieved, I guess. But yeah, so Derek, I'd say
Derek is
overall genetics, Derek Lunsford, because you could look at the waist, the rate that dude put on muscle was ridiculous, ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say Derek up in there. I'd say like your Samsons, your Andrew Jacks, yeah. I'd say Tonio, but then you can say, structurally shoulder width. You might say not yet, but he might be like a Phil Heath and add just so much muscle. But then you'd say, Phil, yep, he's definitely
muscle bellies as well. That would be my 4. I think. I'd say Keon, Derek, Andrew. I'd say Samson, Derek. Right? I think they have.
Yeah, I agree with you, bro.
You could put Tony on there too, because I don't know anybody else with the genetics that can handle 5 or 6 Five Guys burgers, get on stage and look good. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy.
Hey, I was going to ask a question.
Andrew.
Nate, what's your Instagram?
Mine?
Yeah.
Nathan NATHAN _ Dandridge DANDRIDGE.
Yeah, I think those guys are safe picks. Who else? There got to be some more people in there that have crazy genetics.
I mean, we're talking to classic and stuff as well. Like classic, you got some freaks in there as well.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, you mentioned Keon in the 212.
Ramon, I think Ramon has very impressive genetics.
What's the question?
Top 5 most genetically gifted current bodybuilders.
Current, okay.
Yeah.
Yo, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Getting a drink in the toilet.
Mm-hmm. You gonna grab a drink from the toilet or drink in toilet?
Straight out of it, bro. That's how we do it down in Australia, down under.
I mean, if you look at the rate of progression, Samson's rate of progression is pretty crazy. Oh, Quentin, we didn't say Quentin. Quentin is one of the best genetically, structurally, and muscle bellies.
Yeah.
Quentin might be number 1. Huh? We can't hear you.
Number 1. Quentin's number 1.
You know what? Yeah, I think so. He got the height. He has the width. He has the sweeps, the muscle bellies, the waist. His rate of progression isn't crazy, but I mean, he's still growing.
Honestly, you forgot about Crizzle. Crizzle has some crazy genetics. Fuck.
Really?
Crizzo.
I don't see him that
way. Dude, you don't see it? No?
I see big arms. But like
big legs too.
I don't feel like structurally he's super sound. I gotta be honest with you. I don't feel like the way his body flows is like a genetic freak as far as I think he's a freak as far as how big his arms is and shoulders. But I don't feel like structurally he's put together in a way that's like gives him like an advantage genetically, I mean, big arms are nice, but I don't look at him and be like, bro, because to me, like, it's like Quentin. It's like once he adds the muscle, nobody could beat him, right? Or Andrew comes in shredded, nobody. But Crizzo, I don't look at him like, once he just gets bigger glutes, nobody's gonna beat him. I kind of just Crizzo looks great, if that makes sense. But like Will said, they all have.
You shrug him off there very easily, but he beat Tonio. You're so impressed with.
It's not about beating somebody. Nick beat everybody. It doesn't mean Nick has better genetics.
No, I'm just saying you cannot beat Tonio if you're not a genetic freak. Period. You know what I mean? I'm just saying Crizzo is very underrated, bro. Very underrated.
Yeah, but we're not talking about who's the better bodybuilder. Dorian Yates beat Flex Wheeler and Sean Ray. That doesn't mean he's more genetically gifted. You can beat somebody and not be as genetically gifted. Well, we're just talking about what you have genetically, right?
You could even argue Samson has the best genetics because he looks the way he does, even while he's off of everything for 8-12 weeks. Like that's that doesn't tell you what your genetics are. I mean, there you fucking 320 pounds while you're off, dude.
Yeah. We're not talking about who's better or who reached it, but like Lionel Bayeki, he never reached his genetic potential, but he still has some of the best genetics we've ever seen. He just never got close to his potential. So he didn't really beat anybody. You know what I'm saying? Now
I think Andrew Jack has the best, in my opinion. Just like his insertions, his core, and also like he used to do powerlifting. Like this dude hasn't barely been bodybuilding, and he's already doing so well. So I think personally.
Yeah.
Will said it perfectly early on. He said nobody's gonna get to that level if they didn't have crazy genetics, anyways.
Yeah.
But even within the best, there's always more outliers, right? I don't think any of them have. I don't think there's any of them that don't have good genetics, including Dorian, including Nick. But I think there's levels of genetics that's just like somebody like Phil who could turn pro without a coach and without even knowing what the fuck he was really doing. That's like a next level to me versus like Kai. Yeah, does Kai have good genetics? Yes, but not to that extent. You know what I'm saying?
True.
But
He can turn pro natural.
Yeah,
That's pretty well.
But this is what makes this complicated because rate of progression is a form of genetics. How fast you get lean, and then how small your waist is.
How long can you do this while staying healthy? That's another form of genetics too.
Exactly.
Year, like all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a hard question. If we're just talking about, like I said, just structurally, who has the most potential structurally, like their body, I would say
Andrew.
Quint and Andrew. Yeah, I would say they're similar. Quint, Andrew, Sampson. But Andrew and Quint, I think they're a little wider and have a little smaller waist. So I think Quint and Andrew, right? I think that's enough. I think we talked about it enough. All right. Well, your early lifting days. Did you find your early lifting days more lit or fun than your current lifting days?
Well, every day I get to lift is fucking the best day. You know what I mean? Like,
Amen. Amen. Yeah.
It is never. It's never as fun as when you're young, though. You got to admit it a little bit. But maybe you're pro. You're pro, so it's like if you're pro, it's different. Like it's not as fun for me.
When I was like 21, like 20 to like 23.
These are best days.
It's your life, bro. It's your life, and it's so good.
I didn't care about I didn't care about finances. I didn't care about anything. Just go in there and lift. I didn't even have any regard for my health or injuries. Just throwing up crazy weight, bouncing the shit off of my chest. I'm new to drugs, so the D-ball pumps is just crazy. Oh man,
I like how Will was smiling every time down the bottom. Now,
you know what I'm talking about. Honestly, I felt what do you call it? I felt invincible, bro. I literally felt like you could shoot me and nothing would happen. I felt like you could shoot me and I would just laugh at it. That in my head, I felt indestructible.
Baby, you sound like an old man right now.
Go ahead.
The Will.
That's how I felt. I got to be honest.
Yeah,
it wasn't even
only to be 20 again now.
The first time I bulked to like 300 pounds, and the guy I was working with at the time was like, "I don't care what you do, you got to eat 1,000 carbs every day." I'm like, okay, 1,000 carbs. I'm like, what? How do I do this, man? He's like, I don't care. You just put stuff in a bowl and just eat it. Mashed potatoes in a bowl, grits in a bowl. Go eat burgers. Drink 400 grams of carbs if you need to. That's what I did for like fucking 3-4 months, 300 pounds. And we were training like animals, bro. Like I remember he would come train with me at the gym too. He was making me do like 6-plate deadlifts. Then he would take off a plate, 5 plates, then 4. And then he'd be like, all right, bro, now we're going to do 3 plates for like 25 reps. And I remember just being like, just so fucking dead afterwards. And it was just like, I was fat as fuck, but I was strong as fuck, and I just didn't give a fuck, and everything was great, and then I got celiac and colitis and all that shit after. I'm like, oh man, I can't eat fruits anymore. I gotta watch my diet now. It's like everybody's like, oh dude, I don't want to get fat like you. I'm like,
damn.
Robin, I hate to laugh at that, man. Like I bet I got colitis and all that sort of stuff, but it sounded so funny the way you're like, yeah, I was killing it. And then I got colitis. It's like,
that's part of the reason why I did it, because I abused my stomach so bad by force feeding. I force fed myself for years and years and years. You know what I mean? And eventually, dude, there's part of genetics, right? Eventually, your body's like, hey, man, I can only handle so much. So, you go through different phases. But now it's like I love where I'm at now, because I love the discipline and figuring out and like really listening to my body and listening to my gut. I love that now. So you know what I mean? It's just you go through phases. That's the journey, right? It's just all parts of the journey are fucking awesome, because once you get to the end, that's fucking it. That's it.
Oh,
You know?
don't even
So-
don't even get talk about that part.
Exactly. So every day that we get to train is the best day ever.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, you're
That's,
right.
that's why I think
Yeah.
about it, you know?
Yeah, I feel
Hey,
like
hey,
it just
Ro-
gets better.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
It gets
The,
better.
the,
It's
the
just
only
different.
thing that I don't enjoy about the training aspect of it is because I've got injuries now. Basically, that's my main thing, and I've also had a bit of fatigue and stuff in the past too. So like,
Mhm.
it's hard when you get those sort of associations with training where like I'll go train and just say I get like bad fatigue from it, and then
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you
yeah,
sort
I
of have
know
to
what
temper the way. So I can't train as hard as I want to train, but I want to go in the gym
Exactly.
and fuck it. I used to love going to the gym and just destroying it. Like I can go into the gym and I'm going to train legs. I can do whatever exercise I want.
2 hours,
It
3
doesn't matter.
hours, it don't matter. Yeah.
I wouldn't even do 3 hours, but I remember like my parents, like I have fond memories of early days bodybuilding because my dad used to compete back in the day in his 20s. So like I remember looking at those photos, like he had maybe like three or four photos of himself, super aesthetic. Like my dad had, like he looked just like Bob Paris, like facially and hair and everything. So I was like, that looks cool. Like if I ever look like
Yeah.
that, I'm like, that is some badass shit, you know? And my dad,
Mhm.
I had perfect example. My dad, I've never met anyone but has trained as hard as my dad. I've trained with
Yeah.
some like hard training people, and my dad had that sort of mentality. Like if I go and train with him now, he's like, "Yeah, I've pulled back." Yeah, pulled back. It's like he will go until he's collapsing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's there's sort of like
100%.
You can
Yeah,
get there,
it-
bro. Yeah, I think we should all help Xavier get to that Bob Harris look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll get
Definitely.
there, but man, if I can win, just like I know it's men's physique, it's not the division that I'm in love with. I don't watch men's physique as like a thing that I get excited about. I'll watch the Olympia and stuff. I'll watch the Arnold and go, yeah, I like his physique, you know, like sort of analyze it and stuff. But the way the division's set up now, I'm like, I'm not excited to watch it
Yeah.
personally. I'm just not like, but it is exciting for me to go at the same time to go, okay, I could win my men's physique pro card. I could go to the US, compete in a I don't know, Tampa Pro or something, and you know, just be a part of that experience and just bettering yourself, you know. But I know genetically, like I can't get to a high level in classic physique now. I just know I can't. With the injuries I've got, with the genetics I've got, I could get to looking like I could probably maybe push towards getting a classic physique pro card, but it would be, you know, just I just know my leg genetics and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, it's probably not on the cards. But if I did fill up my weight cap with the shape I've got, I know I could do
Bro,
really well. But I just don't
You
think I've
can
got
get
that.
there. You know, same with Will. It's like look at who you're hanging out with. You know what I mean? The more you hang out with the pros and the people that you aspire to be, the more likely you are to get there. So there's no reason why
Yeah.
you can't. You know, especially knowing that with your dad, it's like you got some good genetics. You just have to fucking pull it out, right? And just
Yeah.
make it happen.
The best part, to get back to the question, the best part I would say about the early lifting, I don't think that is not fun now. It's just a different kind of fun. Now it's more focused and intentional. Whereas back then, the fun part was the complete disregard for your body. Was something about that is fun that I didn't have to warm up. I didn't have to think about like, okay, like Xavier said, now I know that if I do more than 4 exercises for quads, more than 4 for hamstrings, and I'm going heavy, I may not, you know, if I do any more than that, I may not be able to recover from that. And now I'm fatigued. Now my knee hurts. And now I get injured. Whereas back then, I'll be in the gym with 3-4 of my boys, and we're going crazy. When I say hours, I'm saying I will be at the gym the entire day. A 3-hour workout was normal. It was a normal workout. And we're talking about I'll do 6 to 7 for quads. People don't even know there's 6 or 7 exercises to do for quads. I will do all 6 or 7 of them. I will do 6 or 7 for hams. I will do 3 for glutes. I will be in there the entire day and recover like nothing. Now, I don't think I could have groove even more without doing that, honestly, because I'm growing faster now, not doing that. But it was fun and I loved it. You know what I'm saying? The thing about nowadays that if you want to be smart and educated, you could be. When I started, it was just train harder. Anything train harder. Will trains hard, but Will is much smarter than I was when I was 20. First of all, here we have the coach. I didn't have no coach at 20, you know? So automatically you're a level ahead. And Will is a student of the game. He's learning all the right things, which is probably hard to do now because there's so much information, but he found the proper information. Back then, we just fucking worked out and we just lifted heavy and crazy. Was it the right way? Probably not, but it was fun. That's all I got to say.
Will's got such a good opportunity, bro, because like just looking at Will now, if you told me he had like 1.3 million followers, I'd be like, yeah, Will could have 1.3 million followers. He strikes me as a guy that could be on Instagram and sort of be when you said like he's a troll, like not like, you know what I mean, like that, but like I can imagine Will being someone who's not afraid to say what he thinks, sort of thing, and sort of get that big following and stuff as well. So he's got such a good opportunity as well, being a young lifter. But it's sort of in a way, I don't
refreshing.
know if take the fun out of it or not.
Yeah,
what's that?
In some ways, it's refreshing that he's so focused on the bodybuilding that he's not being an influencer. But I did talk to him about that he should put out more content because it's good for business and it's even good to get your name out there. But I love the way he's doing it because he's doing it the way we respect it the most, right? Like taking bodybuilding seriously first, Financially, though, you do want to get into some of that social media stuff, but I think it makes us respect him even more because most kids his age are more concerned in looking the part as far as like doing all the other shit, but not actually doing the work and looking the part on stage. You know what I'm saying? So there's I definitely can respect it.
Do you study now or do you work or like what do you do?
I actually have to leave soon, so this will be my last question. But I do personal training, so I do that full time right now. But yeah, I'm done with school, so I'm just focusing on bodybuilding, and then I have my personal training business. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then the rest of the day, I just eat all day, go to bed at like 3 a.m. because I'm forced eating. But yeah,
it's a life right there.
We should all probably sign off because I gotta eat, and then Robin's about to do another podcast very soon here, so we get that together. So you guys want to sign off now? Actually.
Yeah.
Cool. You cool? All right, gentlemen. Thanks for coming on, everybody. I'm hungry as hell. Time to go eat.
Thank you, guys.
Stop Nation Beef, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.